This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not. Welcome back to the Warner Brothers podcast. I'm Kyle, joined as usual by my brother Keenan, and we got Brandon Petty with us as well. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
We're about to go crazy in LeBron style on this. I cannot wait for these NBA.
Let me say I'm loco.
Oh, I'm loco.
Y'all are stupid. Listen, we are gonna do.
Excited.
We are going to do some NBA awards today, and not in the traditional sense. We are not going to do MVP. We're not going to do Rookie of the Year. We're not going to do Coach of the Year like we normally do. This would be probably the 6th consecutive year that me and Keenan have put it on wax, maybe even 7th year. We'd have to go back and check, but I think it'd be 6. But we've got some categories that the three of us are going to go through. We even got a music topic at the end coming after the NBA categories, but we're going to review the season in our own little way. I think we got some cool categories, so I think y'all will enjoy. Fellas, before we start, any comments on the end to the NBA season? Maybe this little play-in that we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah, go ahead, because I'll do my annual shit on the play-in right before we start. So
No, I think it's pointless. Like, if you're gonna have the play-in, then you need to make stipulations on it, kind of like it was supposed to be. But like, if you're below 500, you're not a play-in team. Don't care, just not a play-in team. And if you are not within 4 games of the 8th seed, you don't get to be a play-in team. Like, if that's the case, like I would prefer to take it out. But like, if you're gonna keep it, have them at least within 3 or 4 games to where we think, okay, like say Dallas had Kyrie and maybe got injured for like a couple weeks or a month and then they were there. It's like, okay, this team's still really good, but unfortunate break, which really should just be your season's over. You had an unfortunate break, but you get it anyway. If they're going to do that, cool. But listen, I don't need to see like the Warriors and Grizzlies should just be the 7-8. Like, that's just what should be the 7-8. Like, the Grizzlies, I mean, the Warriors are the 7. The Grizzlies are probably going to be the 8. But, like, if Dallas gets hot or the Kings get hot, they could lose. And then you have a 47, 48-win team at home because you're crowning a team that couldn't even win 500 and couldn't go 500. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, no, I agree too. Like, especially like some of the teams this year, like Miami and Atlanta. Like, not necessarily Atlanta, but like Miami, like being – I think 7 or 8 games below 500. Like, I agree. Like, if you're not at 500, like you shouldn't even be in the play at all. Like, I think it's kind of like a cop out to reward like underachieving teams potentially. And like for that reason, like I've been out on it since they brought it to fruition. Like, I hate it. I think the format was fine the way it was. Top 8 seeds. East and Western Conference, go back to that. We don't need 9 and 10, fighting for a playoff spot, especially if they're coming in with like 36, 37 wins. Like, I don't want that shit because then they're going to get the 1 seed or the 2 seed in the playoffs. They're going to get bounced generally in 4 or 5 games. Like, I'm good. Like, get rid of it.
Yeah, and like in the NFL, them going to the 7th playoff spot, it made sense. Like, some you either liked it, didn't like it, whatnot, but it did make sense in the sense of, so originally it was 12 out of the 32 teams were making the playoffs. Now it's 14 out of the 32 teams. Not even half the teams make the playoffs in the NFL. In the NBA, 16 out of the 30 teams already make the playoffs. That's over half the NBA. Now you're rewarding 67% of the teams in the NBA have a chance starting on Tuesday to make the playoffs because it's obviously 20 out of 30. So it's like, we don't need this many people to try to make a playoff run. And I get you're trying to prevent tanking, but I promise you, the Sacramento Kings don't think they can win a championship this year. I promise you, they don't think they can do it. I understand they have a chance to get to the playoffs. All that means is they're going to have a worse draft pick and don't have a chance at the number 1. That's it. Like, I promise you, they don't think they can go to OKC and win, then the Nuggets or the Clippers and win, and then whatever teams in the conference finals, and then see probably Boston, if not Cleveland. They're not doing it. So they don't think they're doing it. So I just don't get it.
Yeah, you guys basically said everything I would have said. I mean, I say the same thing every year. And Keenan, you've really summed it up there with 16 of the 30 already made it prior to this. And now you're giving 20 teams a chance. For what reason? I don't think it's pulling in any casual fans, which is, aside from the whole tanking thing, that's why you would do this, right? Is to get more viewers. Okay. I mean, look, normally I think before the play-in, I think the final night of the regular season was Wednesday, right? And then you'd have Thursday and Friday off if you're a playoff team. Playoffs starting Saturday, right? Now you're ending the season on Sunday, putting games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Friday.
Yeah,
and now
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Now these teams that play on Friday are playing on Sunday. I like the idea of like if there really is teams that are like a half game apart, or tied. God, I mean, end the season on Sunday and then keep that whole week open, or maybe end the season on Tuesday and keep that whole week open for maybe the 1 or 2 games that need to be played. And if not, keep it the way it is. That way, all the playoff teams get a good break too, going into the Saturday games, the weekend games. But I was thinking last night on my way home, I was thinking how originally this was because of how bad of a problem tanking was in the NBA, which is debatable, right? And to be fair, it was a big topic. Probably the NBA's biggest topic at one point, maybe the mid to early 2010s. It was a big deal, especially with Philly and the whole process and whatever they did and whatnot. I was thinking last night, though, the issues that plague the NBA now, with stars not wanting to play, with viewership, with people saying maybe there's too many threes being shot, that all seems way more toxic than the tanking issue ever was. Whatever's going on now in Adam Silver's NBA just seems way more, just seems like way more of a pressing issue than whatever the hell was going on with tanking back in the day. Which, by the way, they already tried to make that different with like the smoothing of the playoff, the lottery odds. I think if you're 1 through
top
5,
3,
top
I believe,
3
have the same.
Have the same.
I believe the top 3 have the same odds. Okay, so that's all you needed to do. Top 3 have the same odds.
They should give the entire lottery, the same odds. Honest to God, in my opinion, give 1 through 13 the same exact odds for the number 1 pick, and I don't know. I think you'll see a lot different motivation from.
I would go one. I would split it in half. I get what you're saying. I would go 1 through 7, 7 through 4. But I would split it in half just because, say, the Suns, if they got the 1 pick, theoretically they could, but the chance is so minimal. But I don't deserve they should, because the point of obviously the draft is for bad teams to become good, so they can actually advance themselves.
I don't know if I agree with bad teams being rewarded either.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah. That's fair.
It's a catch. It's a
you
catch
know what?
22.
That's fair.
Honestly.
That's fair. So I would, if you put 1 through 10, and then 11 through 14, they can't. But 1 through 10 have the same.
I mean, let's use that theory right now. What if Cooper Flag went to the Wizards, right? We've been through that experience with John Wall. It brought excitement to the city. It's cool when DC sports are good, I guess. Compare that to Cooper Flag going to Phoenix and immediately jumping in with Durant, Booker, Beal. All that Durant trade stuff probably goes away. And I don't know if that makes
you don't
Phoenix
need to trade her.
That doesn't necessarily make Phoenix a contender, but it very well could too. It very well
a dark horse at worst.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I just continuously get disappointed by Adam Silver's NBA. He's way more of a vice principal than I thought. He's very much a good cop to David Stern's bad cop. Not that David Stern was ever perfect, but it definitely seemed like he truly ruled the league. I can't say the same about Adam Silver. This seems like LeBron.
No, Silver doesn't rule.
Seems like LeBron's league to me, if you ask me. But fellas, without further ado, you want to get started? Or any final thoughts?
Yeah.
By the way, real quick before we do, what did we think about the 5 count in the Grizzlies-Warriors game? I thought that was one of the quicker 5-second violations I've ever seen called.
It was pretty quick.
It was, so if you're going through the Mississippi count, like one Mississippi kind of thing. It was on the 5 and not the Mississippi, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, like, you know how in like the NFL, the play clock strikes 0, and then the official looks at it, and then it's that. So they kind of get an extra half second to a second. That's kind of how it is in the NBA, like 5 count. So you use like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then they'll let it go. That was like the second it turned 0, like them just calling it. So yeah, you're right. It's quick
It
for
seemed like
what they
4.5
typically
to me.
do. Yeah, because he was like, because he went 1, 2, 3, 4, and the second his hand got there, it was like, yep, 5. I was like, okay.
5 seconds.
And I don't know if it's like they're making up because Pods clearly blocked it, and then Looney didn't touch Edie. Like that, both of those were ridiculous. And then early on in the game, Scottie Pippen Jr. didn't touch Jimmy like, at all. Like they didn't touch him. So like there was both bad calls both ways, but I didn't love the 5-second call. But at the same time, it didn't. I don't think it made. Like they ruined the fact that the almost said Wizards. The Grizzlies had a chance possibly to go tie the game, but like I didn't think it was the end of the world personally to me. Also, the Warriors should just have been the 7th seed because we didn't need a play-in. So like, so that's me. But yeah.
So real quick before we go to that, Heat are up 25 on the Bulls as we speak. Sure, the Bulls could come back, but Heat were the 10, Bulls were the 9. Okay, whatever. We got what? Magic won last night, correct? So the Hawks will play the winner of this game. I mean, look, it seems like the Bulls, Heat, and Hawks specifically are always in the play-in, which is it's interesting. I don't really know what to make of it. I feel like it's a huge advantage for a team like the Miami Heat, who are just, they've got the infrastructure. They've been to the playoffs. They've been to the finals.
They're playing seasoned.
Yeah, they're more than playing seasoned. So
they are.
They are.
I think every year the play-in's been a thing they've been in, except for maybe one year, because like obviously the year they went to the finals, they were the 8th seed. So like they literally have they're like playing season. So I mean,
we're right there at that line.
Yeah, it's book it every year. The Heat, Hawks, and the Hawks and Bulls are in the play-in, and then the Warriors have been in the play-in on like 3 out of 4 years too. Yeah. The Kings have been in the play-in multiple times, so like, yeah, you just have your play-in teams.
Well, it is
Texas and the Miami Heat and the NBA play-in. 3 guarantees in life.
Absolutely.
The Miami Heat Invitational. It is official though, 71-47 going into the half. Looks like the Heat will run away with that. Fellas, without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to start us off with a fun category. We're going to go favorite player to watch of the 2024-2025 season. Brandon Petty, let's start with you.
All right, so I have like a 1A, 1B. One's going to be Paolo Banchero. I love Paolo. Especially too, like being in Florida, like I catch a lot of Magic games, just like on local television and stuff like that. He's such a good player. Like, and honestly, like I was thinking about it the other day, like if he was in a bigger market, say Miami, LA, New York, like he'd probably be one of the most talked about players because I think he's that good. And like, I feel like a lot of people just like really overlook him. Like, I feel like a lot of people forget like this guy had a ton of hype coming out of college. Was the number 1 overall pick. Like, was honestly billed as like
37 last year in Game 7 against the Cavs. But I think Donovan had a great Game 6 and a great Game 7. But I want to say he had put up 37 in Game 7 last year.
Yeah, like he's disgusting. And like, it's kind of sad because like he was a super hype prospect coming out of college. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is the the next big thing." Like whatever. Like he was the most talked about player that year, and now people are just kind of like, I don't know if people don't care or like maybe there's not enough eyes on him. But like, I love watching him because his game is like amazing. He can really do it all. Like he can initiate offense for himself. He can shoot 3. He can dribble and drive. Like he can really do everything. And a lot of the times, like he has to put Orlando on his back, like especially if Franz isn't having an on night. Um, but yeah, I love watching Paulo. If I could ever have one player in Miami, he'd be probably number one on the list. And then my one B is Tyler Hero. I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer here, but like I think his growth as a player has been outstanding. Like last year, he kind of struggled being the primary ball handler. This year, like we've been able to run the offense through him. And honestly, like he gets to his spots, he goes and gets his shots. Like, and honestly, he's doing it being the primary key of defenses. So it's just been awesome watching his growth this year. I really honestly didn't think he'd get to a point where he'd be an all-star player, averaging 24, 5 and 5, like on the shooting splits that he has too, with decent efficiency. So he's also been another favorite of mine this year.
Yeah, to the hero point, I never imagined he would be this consistent. I could imagine a world where he's like a two-time All-Star, maybe once this year and then maybe once 4 years down the road. But his consistency night to night and his reliability, like once upon a time, he was going to be the centerpiece of the Dame Lillard trade. I never thought that would have been fair compensation for Portland. Whereas now that looks like it absolutely would have been fair compensation if this is the version you're getting of Tyler Hero. But I mean, shouts to the Miami Heat for their player development. Paolo, yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Paolo is such an intriguing player to me due to his size and ability, his scoring ability, his rebounding ability. He very much reminds me of a mixture of Carmelo and Jason Tatum with his strength. And sometimes even LeBron when he's going to the basket, just how players bounce off him when he's going to the basket. But he truly reminds me of like a smarter – I don't want to diss Melo like that because he just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, but like a higher basketball IQ Melo. Because Melo just like he would kind of the ball would stick with him and he wouldn't really dish the rock like that. Whereas Paolo was like quicker with decisions. So I want to say necessarily a smarter player, but definitely a more team oriented player than Carmelo. So
Yeah.
I like the both of those. Keenan, how about you? Favorite player to watch this season?
So one is Steph, but I'm not going to name Steph because Steph's been my favorite player to watch pretty much every year of his career. So after that, one of them is Victor Wembanyama. Me doing the Spurs thing. I got a chance to more key in on Wemby on not just the national televised nights, but on like other nights when it's just like the stretch he had in Paris where it was 3 straight blocks. The fourth one got called for goaltending, but it was blocks, it was rebounds. It was like one of the most dominant 2-minute stretches I've ever seen in my life. It was 3 blocks, 2 rebounds, like 2 assists and a bucket. And I was like, this guy is just fake. So like watching him and being able to watch just like every game, that was one guy that I wanted to highlight. And then 2, another guy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because I love the way he operates in the mid-range. Like, I understand, I know people complain about him, like, foul baiting and foul hunting, whatnot. His step back in the lane is so quick. Like, his move, he doesn't move fast, but his quickness and his first step is insane. And just, like, watching him more as he's grown into the player that he's become, I think just those 2 guys there alone were 2 guys that I enjoyed watching. And then, as I said, Steph is someone I'll watch and then be my favorite pretty much to watch every single night. So for the rest of his career.
Very well. Very well. Hard to disagree with those, especially Victor Wembanyama, because, I mean, how do you not pick him, right? You just never really know what you're going to see with someone at that size. Same with, like, Giannis very early on in his career when he was, like, just going off athleticism. Like, you really never knew what you were going to see with those guys, but Wembanyama is like that on steroids. I feel like I'm mispronouncing his name, but Wemby is like that on steroids. He's fucking 7'5". He can take a game over defensively as well as offensively, and then he can shoot it from 35 for if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could talk all the superlatives we want about Wemby. It's always going to turn out the same because he is such an alien of a player, and it sucks that his season got shortened. obviously, and we wish the best for him, and hopefully comes back healthy.
We should be watching him tonight.
Right, yeah, they very well would be in the play-in for sure. So
I mean, him and De'Aaron Fox both healthy. I mean, don't get me started, but like, yeah, no, we should be watching him tonight. Genuinely,
most definitely. So my player that I had for this, I probably might have had Wemby if he would have played the full season. This player, he's actually from the same draft class as Wemby. It is Amen Thompson, who is just super athlete. Him and his brother both really. I probably would have included Asar as well, except he just didn't play nearly as much as Amen. And we will be seeing Amen in the playoffs with real reps against a team like the Warriors, who's just obviously veteran laden, has real playoff and championship experience. So I cannot wait to see him in the playoffs for sure. But man, this kid, he will do some of the most freakish shit you'll see on an NBA floor. And this kid's only, I think he might be 20. I don't know if he's 19 or 20, but I mean, I remember when these guys were coming into the draft and they were part of that overtime elite league, and people were saying like, yeah, they're not really playing anybody, but like they're most definitely legit. And I think when we were talking about the Wembanyama draft, him and Scoot Henderson, I was saying like, aside from those two, like the Thompson twins are the ones I would bet on, or they're the most intriguing prospects to me because of their freakish athleticism.
Yeah.
And man, Thompson, I really do think this is what MJ would have looked like if you would have thrown MJ in the league at like 19 and he wasn't as polished as he, became at 21, 22. Because, man, just with his athleticism, he can give you problems defensively. He will have a game-changing rebound, a game-changing defensive play, a game-changing dunk. Like, that dude very much reminds me of, God, if you want to throw it, Andre Iguodala, young Westbrook. Like I just said, MJ, a young Kobe. Like, he's just got that level of athleticism. And aside from Wemby in that draft or any of these young guys, any of these under 25 guys, I would bet for him to be a franchise player sooner than later here. I think he'll be the one next to Wemby that is truly like the star of that draft class. But really, again, the 23 and under guys, 25 and under guys, whoever you want to throw in that group, I think Amen will be in there because he is just a game changer and he doesn't even really know how to play yet. So can't wait to see how him and his brother progress as time goes on.
Absolutely. I second that 100%. I think he is just an immense talent. And I think people who don't watch a lot of Houston Rockets game, they'll be tuning in because obviously a lot of people watch Steph Curry and the Warrior games and they're going to see like, oh, this guy's for real. Okay. And this Rockets team, team's fun. Like they've got athletes, they got uber athletes all over the board, and then you've got a mini Jokic in Sengun. so you've got fun there. Obviously, he's not Jokic, but like he has that same kind of style of post game, can make a lot of nice passes. He's clearly not the passer Jokic is, but yeah.
Yeah, Sengun's definitely got some Jokic and Sabonis to him for sure.
Yep.
Amen's also raw, like skill wise and like tool wise. He's incredibly raw. And like I just looked, he's putting up 15, 9, and like 2. Still really isn't shooting the 3 ball well. He's shooting at like 26, 27%. But like if he can further develop his shot and then kind of like grow into the kind of player where he can go and get his own shot as well too, and kind of be like an initiator, like I think the sky's the limit for him. Like he's that good.
Yeah.
100% agree. 100% agree. Next category.
Yep.
Well, Brandon mentioned Tyler Hero, which is going to lead us to this next category. It's an important one. I might even call this the Paul Wall Award. This is white boy. This is a white boy of the season. So we got to choose. We got to choose an American white player who we thought doesn't necessarily have to be like the best white player of the season. Could be just our favorite white player of the season. We go multiple ways with this, but white boy of the season. We will start with the white person on the dais, with the white boy on the dais, I should say. We'll start with Brandon Petty.
I'm probably figure out where I'm going with this. I'm going with the boy wonder himself, Tyler Hero.
Hey, shout out Tyler Hero back to back. Jordan 96, 97. Whoa.
Tyler Brandon Petty wanted him traded off of his team last year. Hero.
That is very true. Very true.
It is.
Every Miami Heat fan wanted Tyler Hero off the roster last season. Everyone was like, "We got Terry Rozier. What's the point of having him? Like, just get rid of Hero. Like, get him out of here." And then this year, he's an all-star, wins a 3-point championship.
Yeah.
Like, he played phenomenal, and right now he has like 23 points on 8 of 9 from the floor and 3 of 3 from three. He's doing fine. He's doing just fine.
He's like, thank you, Miami, for keeping him. But no, obviously, like I talked about him earlier, I just love him. Like I feel like he's really starting to come into form from like what you saw like his first couple of years, especially like the playoff series against the Celtics. Like I think what you saw during that is like him putting it all together now. Like I really wouldn't be surprised like if he's just kind of like a perennial all-star kind of guy every single year. Like I think he could be even better. Like if we had like another number one option, like maybe a 1B or something. But I mean, honestly, like Tyler Hero, like he's one of my favorite players in the NBA, and it helps out too that he plays for my favorite team. But it's Tyler Hero, and then maybe second Austin Reeves.
Yeah, Austin
runner
Reeves.
up.
That's a good guy.
Runner up. All right. Keenan, how about you?
So I wrote down 4 names. A lot of these I wrote down 4 names, and basically based on the conversation, obviously I'm going to say my favorite, but then went on there. I had Tyler Hero and Austin Reeves written down, so I'm going to give shine to somebody else, and that is Josh Giddey. I think Josh Giddey's second half of the season.
The Giddler.
I was going to say the Giddler.
Whoa, time out. Josh Giddey's Australian, though.
Is he Australian?
He's Australian.
He is, yeah.
Oh, he is Australian. Okay, scratch Josh Giddey. Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard. Okay, don't worry. I had 4 names. I did not know he was Australian. It's okay, but shout out Peyton Pritchard, because Peyton Pritchard is one of the most shocking players in the league to me, because like he will obviously come off the bench and just light it up. He can play, and then Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are out. 34, 7, and 7 for Peyton Pritchard tonight. It's like, wait a second. You're trying to tell me you put him on a bad team, he could average 22, 7, and 5? Like, you just put him on a... So, like, he's so... Like, he fits that team perfectly. He comes off the bench, gives them a spark. He knows what he's doing. It's kind of... Not like same level, but kind of like when Ginobili and Harden were on the bench. It's like, oh, he can do more than what he's actually doing. Not comparing him to Harden and Ginobili, but like it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, no, he really can do more than what he's showcasing. Or if you want to compare Austin Reeves, because like the nights where LeBron and Luka or LeBron and AD weren't on the floor, it'd be like, oh, 40 for Austin. Okay. It's like, okay. I guess so. And then it's like, no, I'll be back to my 18 just fine. Don't worry about me. So, yeah, Peyton Pritchard, I'll have on my list.
Is that the award winner for you, Keenan, Peyton Pritchard, or are you going Hero or Reeves?
Austin Reeves is my award winner, and then Peyton Pritchard was my runner-up.
Okay,
so
all right.
But I definitely did want to give credit to other people, too, because I know there's more than just 2 white players in the league. So
Duncan Robinson.
Shouts to Duncan Robinson.
Sam Hauser. Dalton Connect.
Unfortunately for all these players, it looks like Cooper Flagg will win this award for the next 15 years. So,
hey, don't talk Con Knipples coming in here, don't you?
ultimate white guy right there.
Don't you worry.
A true Duke
Con
white guy.
Knipples coming in here, and when he gets drafted number 8 to San Antonio and he fills right in that Harrison Barnes role, oh boy, I tell you what. I'm just kidding. Cooper Flagg is him. Cooper Flagg is him.
I will imagine you see that guy walking up and he hangs up 25 points on you. Just like...
No, he really feels like not like Larry did, but like kind of like Larry would just walk in. You're like, okay, this guy's tall, but like, what is he gonna do? And then it's like, oh, he's gonna talk to me and he's gonna put on 60. Okay.
I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but Reed Shepherd was the number 3 overall pick. I wonder when the last American white lottery pick was, or top 5 pick. I forget if we had this conversation or if it was someone else. Um, but I mean, hey, the white boys. It's a white boy summer for the, so to speak. White boy last 3 summers maybe for these American whites. But you guys each mentioned him. It was Keenan's winner, but I'm gonna give him some shine right now. Austin Reeves is my winner. Um, if I had to go to war with one American white basketball player right now, I think Austin Reeves would be that one. And you know what? I think Pritchard would be 2 and Hero might be 3. Yeah, I mean Hero by default might have to be 2, but again, let me wax poetically on Austin Reeves real quick. He is so creative with the ball. He's so creative off the dribble and decisive, and does not feel out of place with a team that has LeBron and Luka. That says a lot about him as a player. We've seen so many times teams that are centered around LeBron, that third guy just get relegated to a spot up shooter status. And credit to JJ Redick on this, because I think that's a lot more JJ than it is maybe LeBron, or maybe that it is Austin Reeves himself. He gets a lot of time to shine himself in these games without coming off the bench, just the way the minutes are staggered. And he plays with full confidence. I mean, this is a guy who, what was he, a second round pick, undrafted originally?
I think second.
And he rose up from the G League, and he is cold blooded. Like, he is someone I would have no fear giving the ball to in the playoffs if I'm LeBron or Luka, if I'm the LA Lakers. Like, in crunch time, I'm completely confident this guy will make, if not the right play, a good enough play, right? You know what I mean? I feel like he can get you a good shot, and I feel like he can get his own shot. And that's for someone, not to use the stereotypical verbiage for white players, but this is someone who doesn't really have flashy athleticism. He's definitely shifty. That much he's got. He's got handle. He's got all that for days, but he's cold-blooded on top of that. He can just hoop. So, I fuck with Austin Reeves. He's definitely one of my favorite players in the league. Keenan, I completely agree with you on Peyton Pritchard. Since he came into this league, Peyton Pritchard he really thinks he's Steph Curry. He plays with that confidence every day. I mean, you add the championship up on top of that, you're going to get these 40 pieces and these 35 pieces from Peyton Pritchard and these 8 3-pointer games. Like, he really believes he's him, and he's that much of an impact shooter and player. So shouts to him. And my last shout out here, Jay Huff, who comes off the bench for the Memphis Grizzlies. He is completely, I don't know if y'all have really paid attention. Just go watch his highlights one day, because he is completely incapable of just doing a regular dunk. He goes out of his way to do a reverse dunk as much as possible whenever he's in the lane, whenever he catches the lob. I think he's done off a tip slam too. He will do a 2-handed reverse every single time. There's no explanation for it. And for that, he makes my top 3 of White Boy of the Year. Any final?
Before you go to the next, I know you're going to go to the next award.
Hard-nosed players, they all are.
I know you're going to go to the next award, and we're good to move on. I just also want to say shout out to Max McClung, 3 straight dunk contest championship. He deserves those. We can't have a conversation and him do something that's never been done in the NBA and have him not have his name brought up. So shout out Mac McClung.
And technically still has not been done in the NBA because he's a G League player. So I don't even know what we do with that.
It was at the NBA. It was at All-Star Weekend.
True that.
Where are we going next?
Let's go with, let's see. All right. Off of the favorite player and the best white player. Most confusing player to you this season. I'm going to go to Keenan this time to start with. Keenan, who was your most confusing player to watch this season?
Kevin Durant. And the reason why Kevin Durant is because, Kevin Durant puts up Kevin Durant numbers everywhere he goes. And it used to be a bunch of wins. And now it's not a bunch of wins. And it's confusing. I understand he's not the same level defender, but he's not bad. And it's not like he's a bad defender now. He's still a quality defender. He's not like the elite defender he was in Golden State. But when Steph is being Steph, the Warriors still win games. Is it at the same 73 win clip? Of course not. But they still are winning games. When LeBron is LeBron, they're still winning games. I use them because they're the old guys that are still at kind of close to peakish powers, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin Durant, he has Devin Booker. I know they've been in and out. I know Bradley Beal's been in and out. But that roster was good enough. I understand you're wrong on this, Kyle, but you had them in the finals. That was your prediction this year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
The roster, and like, you weren't the only person who thought that they could do something like that. Like, that wasn't a bold prediction when you did it. It was one of those ones where it's like, oh, okay, you have the Suns doing that, but it was like, okay, they have the talent to do it. And like they couldn't even scratch the 10. And so it's like Kevin Durant's the confusing player to me just because like I think he puts up his 27, 7 in 4 to 5 on 50% shooting, close to 40% from 3, close to 90% from the line. He's going to give you that everywhere he goes. He'll give it to you probably when he's 45, but it's just like it's not leading to wins. And obviously when you break down his career, like he's one of the most confusing players, honestly, of all time when you break it down, just because it's like, okay, Thunder stretch, you thought right after that 2012 season when they lost to the Heat in 5, you're like, oh, this Thunder team's coming. They lost to the Lakers a couple years back, and then they end up going through the Spurs, blah, blah, blah. And then you lose 3-1, you go to the Warriors, you have 3 great years, and then after the Warriors, the farthest you've been is you went to Game 7 of the second round and obviously lost to Milwaukee when your foot was on the line. Other than that, it's been second. There's been a sweep, another sweep in the first round. They got to the second round the year afterwards. So Kevin Durant, he's been one of the most confusing players in like his career arc and trajectory. But this year, to me, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I agree. I actually had Kevin Durant as mine too for pretty much the same reasons, just because the fact that like when you're talked about as like as great as a player as he is, and it's just not translating to wins, like it just kind of makes you sit there and scratch your head, like, okay, like, why isn't this working out? So honestly, for all those reasons, like KD was my number one. I'll throw another one out just to kind of pivot away, with kind of like a confusing / frustrating player. Somebody that you mentioned earlier, Keenan, and that's Terry Rozier. Like,
this feels personal.
Dude played crackhead ball this year, like literally, like crackhead basketball. Like, you got the whole betting the betting thing coming out. I mean, dude acts like he's Steph Curry. Like, brother, you are not Steph Curry. Like, stop coming down the court and jacking up threes. Like, and Eric Spoelstra just keeps on rewarding him. Like, hey, we're going to play Terry for 25 minutes tonight. No, you idiot. Take him off the damn court. He sucks. I don't know how you can go from, and I'm not acting like Terry Rozier was like a great player. Like, he was a good player, like on high volume, but like still like somebody that you can have as a piece on your team and win with. And like for you to go from that to just like what he's doing right now and what he's done all season, like, I mean, he's fallen off the face of the earth. Like all of his shooting splits, his efficiency metrics, like everything has just taken a nosedive. So he would be probably number 2 for me. More so on the frustrating side, but definitely confusing too, because like that's a pretty big fall off.
Most definitely is. I remember last year when he was traded to Miami, you were pretty bullish.
I was hyped.
Pumped
Yeah, you
about
were
it.
hyped about it. Like you very much liked it. The league seemed to praise it, and weirdly enough, like you said, with the Hornets, where he was basically just playing pickup ball, but he was like 6th man of the year candidate every year, seemingly. Definitely was an impact player on Boston. I loved him on Boston. Coming off the bench, could score for you. He was really actually a supreme rebounder for his size. Like he was a very good rebounder for Boston coming off the bench. It was interesting. He was one of the best rebounding guards in the league. But for him to have an impact last year for Miami, and then like you said now, I mean, seemingly playing crackhead ball, it makes no sense because he's still pretty young in his career. He's somewhat, I mean, it doesn't seem like he's lost his athleticism yet. I mean, he's not someone who's had major injuries or anything like that. So very confounding, very confusing. I too had Kevin Durant for all the reasons you guys said. This guy's still putting up all the numbers he did in the past.
And just so everyone knows, we did not correlate any of this before. We all just really had Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
So that's
no.
actually that speaks even almost more to how confusing he is.
We did not talk, and I'm not looking at this right now, Keenan, but I want to say his efficiency's even improved over the last few years. Like, he's just he's every bit of confusing. He's clearly not a leader, whatever. Because you guys mentioned him, I feel like I can throw Devin Booker in here as well. We had Devin Booker coming off a very good Team USA summer, right? Played very well as a role player for these guys in the Olympics. Last few seasons, obviously, he's been playing at an all-NBA level. Booker is seemingly more injured lately as of the last couple seasons, but still when he's in there, extremely consistent, whether it's scoring, whether it's rebounding, passing the ball. He's been a good playmaker. You'd figure just the version of KD that we got, along with Devin Booker, that we would get at least a play-in team, at the very least. And I think we would all assume, like, yeah, that's a 6 seed at the very least, especially with Mike Budenholzer coming in, who just got fired. What a shit show it is in in Phoenix. KD will obviously be out of there. Looks like that, there's interest between him and the Rockets. Shams reported today. I'm very interested to see where he actually does go. It was even reported. I don't know how true this is. That maybe the Warriors were going to try to use Jimmy Butler to flip him for KD on deadline day. So that's very interesting.
Oh, back then, yeah. So like that was the thought, like that was part of the because I saw that too. I think odds had came out that like Miami was up there, San Antonio was up there, Houston was up there, and I think Golden State they had randomly up there too, which threw me off. And I was like, I don't think he's going to
Get
Golden
him to
State
Dallas.
at this point. Like,
get him to Dallas. Let him join that shit show.
Kyrie and Nico.
Minnesota makes sense. You can flip Julius Randle for Kevin Durant. Like that would make some sense, but like Houston would make sense. I don't know. I don't know if I'd break it up in Houston. Like I don't know if I would break up the young talent. Put Kevin Durant
at least
for 2 years.
I'd get rid of Jalen Green probably if it meant KD. Amen and Sangoon and all those guys. Like Amen's going to be your two
Would the Suns do that?
I don't see why not.
Like Jalen Green, I don't know.
So the only reason why I asked is because you're getting a redundant player with Booker and Jalen Green. Okay, because
you're right.
I mean, Booker can play a 1, but he's better as a 2. But like Booker showcased that he can, like if necessary, he can play a 1.
You can probably play Jalen Green.
Ask for Şengün.
You could. He is athletic enough to be the 3, and then hopefully, I mean, you'd have Beal, Booker, and Jalen Green. That just doesn't
Beal. Oh, Bradley. Beal.
That just feels like roster construction wise, that just doesn't feel like a great trio to have.
Yeah,
talent, each of them are talented. Don't get me wrong, but like that just doesn't seem like the fitting trio. But
3 small.
I'm glad we all had Kevin Durant.
I mean, Phoenix clearly has problems constructing a team anyway. I mean, they thought Bradley Beal. I mean, I can't say anything. I had real success coming out of Phoenix last year and this year, apparently as a finals team. So I can't say anything. I bought into it as well.
Do you remember how we felt about Phoenix right after the bubble? Like, didn't they they went 8-0 in the bubble, and then they just missed the playoffs. And then the next year they win 60 games, they get to the finals, they lose to the Bucks in 6. And then the next year we have Luka and the meme. And then from that moment on, they traded for Kevin Durant. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be great. And then it's like they don't have any bench. And then it's like, oh, they're gonna be great. They can't stay healthy. It was just like, oh, they got Bradley. The Suns' experience has been insane.
I completely forgot about this. There was a time where Chris Paul was on the team with Booker and KD. I don't even remember that.
Mm-hmm.
They very well could have just kept Chris Paul. Look how, granted he's coming off the bench, but look how successful Chris Paul's been still since his departure from Phoenix. Like he's still an impact player.
He's averaged 9 and 8 this year for San Antonio. Like he's been a quality player.
Moving on from most confusing player to our most confusing team of the season. And Kean, I'll start with you again for this category. Who is your most confusing team of the 24-25 campaign?
I'm not going to go Phoenix. You could obviously throw in Phoenix, but we kind of just we kind of just talked about Phoenix. I'm going to say Memphis. I have a couple other teams this year, but Memphis. And it's They were the 2 seed at one point, and they were looking good. Then obviously Ja's been in and out, and he adds to the confusion. He's another confusing player in the league
he
too.
could have been. He very well could have took that award.
He could have been one. The way he goes from I'm a superstar to whatever antics he's doing on the court to like I don't know. He treats it like it's it's 2K, like he can just do whatever he wants and not have any repercussions for it. I mean, and with Adam Silver, it's not going to be like harsh repercussions, but he'll have some. He'll just have to go to like therapy or something. But like Memphis is just like and like Denver almost made this list for me because when you fire your coach this late into the season, it just like you confuse me. Like I guess, and I think Taylor Jenkins is a good coach, and it just confused me why he got the most out of his players. Like I understand in Denver, Mike Malone was like there was like tension there, but obviously he bought time with the championship. Like you heard the reports come out, but like Taylor Jenkins, I never heard anything wrong with him. Like unless I missed something, like I just never saw or heard anything being wrong with him. He got the most out of his players every time Ja was out. The team played almost better, and then they just said bye.
The only thing I end up hearing, and I think I said this to Brandon and Tim last time we recorded, they apparently did fire his whole assistant staff this past summer. So it was more of a front office thing, I think, than it was a Ja Morant team thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you do it now? Like that? Like,
well, I think maybe
like
for sure that doesn't make sense. But I think the writing was on the wall at least last year. I think
okay, so fair. Like even fair enough. The writing's on the wall, but like allow. I just don't understand. Like the Grizzlies have just been confusing. The way we're talking about it now, it just confuses me. Like they just confuse me how everything's gone down with the decisions to do that, how Ja Morant is, but then at the same time, Desmond Bane's a really good player that just almost feels semi-wasted because I feel like he could help out so many championship caliber teams. But like, and the Grizzlies should be that. Like right after they lost in the second round to the Warriors because Ja got injured, we're like, oh, this team's gonna be here. And then obviously Ja's out, and then the injury, and then it's like, oh, this year they could be one of those sleeper teams, and they looked like what we thought they were gonna look like, and then it just went down. So the Grizzlies are my confusing team. But yeah, I also do feel bad for Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. Those are two guys that if I'm another team, if I could try to trade for them, I definitely would because they are impact players that could definitely help a team out for a championship.
Yeah, so I actually had Memphis because like which is hilarious because like Memphis on paper, like looking at their roster, like they have a really good roster. Like, I mean, honestly, like Ja, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, Zach Edey, Jalen Wells, like G.G. Jackson.
Scottie Pippen Jr. has been playing really good. So like they have
Pippen
depth.
Jr., Vince Williams Jr. Like it keeps on going. Like and it's just like I don't know. I felt like they should have been a finals contender right now. But instead of choosing them, I'm going to go with another team. Like, and it's kind of like I think they were bad for multiple reasons, but like the New Orleans Pelicans, and the reason being is because the talent that they have on that team. I understand they were banked up, like, but even when healthy, like they just weren't good. Like you're throwing out Zion, you're throwing out DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Yves Missy. Like they have real talent, and like like for them to win 21 games or 20 or 21 games, whatever it was this year. Like I understand the injury bug. Like a lot of their guys, you know, are hurt, have been hurt. But I mean, even then, and this was also too with Brandon Ingram as well too, pre-trade. Like I don't understand like how you can be that bad with that much talent. Like especially with a guy like Zion on your team. Like even when he is playing, like, and you're not even competitive. Like I understand it's a team game we're talking about, but like the team is just not competitive at all.
And like, they have talent that fits. Like when you're like the Suns have like talent, but like Beal, Booker, and Durant, some like doesn't fit. But you have like an inside presence in Zion. You have Ingram who you can get one-on-one. You got McCollum who can stretch the floor. You got DeJounte Murray to be a guy who can create offensively but play high-level defense. It's like their roster makes sense and it fits, and they still weren't. And I know they couldn't. And I'm not even naming people like Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. Like they're
like there's to your point about Memphis, like there's players on this team that would help out contenders that like would come in.
Trey Murphy
like
would help out everyone.
Trey Murphy, McCollum, like DeJounte Murray, like Herb Jones, like all these guys would go and give quality minutes for contenders. I guarantee you right now, Houston would take a Trey Murphy on their team right now. I guarantee you Denver would love to have Trey Murphy. Like
Kyle, I'm sure if the Lakers had Trey Murphy on their roster, you'd be much higher on them. Like I promise, like if you could tell me you got a 6'8" wing to really play defense at a high level, and your end can shoot threes, like you'd be higher on the Lakers. Like,
well, Trey Murphy's just a flat out stud.
Yeah,
like he's going to be in the eventual day that Zion gets traded. Like that's Trey Murphy's team, right? Unless they get like Cooper Flag or whatever. Like Trey Murphy is poised to be a star. I want to add to what Brandon's saying though, like completely, like on top of what you guys just said, this team fits, but like to me they were one of the deepest teams in the league anyway. So to where like your annual 30 to 40 games missed by Zion comes up, you're fine. You still got CJ, and I know they lost DeJounte, but hey, you still got Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, who both missed some time. Herb Jones missed most of the season as well, so they definitely had their injury bug. But one guy we didn't mention.
They have Bruce Brown and Jose Alvarado. Sorry.
No.
Do they have Bruce Brown?
They do, yeah.
Bruce
and
Brown?
Kelly Olynyk, too.
Damn.
They just.
So, I mean, on top of that, we didn't even mention this guy, Willie Green, their head coach. He's a good head coach, a good young head coach that like seems to get the most out of these guys. It doesn't make sense at all. And I would throw Phoenix into this category where the league is so deep, where I think we're going to get this a lot moving forward with these teams who just fall out of the play-in zone. And it's not necessarily to their doing either. It could be that you got similar to the NFL, where if you get the right injury at the right time, it can just torpedo your season. That being said, I'm actually kind of mad I didn't pick the Pelicans for this, because I think they're the definition of the confusing team. They're so deep that none of these injuries, they should have at least been a 35-win team, right?
Yeah.
Well, what was their final record overall?
21 and 21. Yeah. Like, honestly, blow it up.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, but, like...
I mean, for them not to get 25
like,
wins is insane. For them not to get 30 wins is insane. I mean, the only thing saving them from that is that it's the West, and it is so talented, and the West is, even at the bottom, very talented. So I will save them some grace.
Two things I want to quickly say before you go on, Kyle. Sorry to interrupt, but one, you asked me a couple years if I would trade Zion Williamson, and I said yes. And two, we're talking to the guy that said Zion Williamson was going to be a bust, and I'm not saying it's not like a bust, but he has proved. I mean, it kind of is. Like when we talk about what he's supposed to be, like he can do it when he's healthy. So like he's not a bust as an actual player. He's just been a bust as a pick for like a franchise-changing guy. He hasn't changed the franchise yet.
Yeah,
he hasn't played in a playoff game. He scored 40 in a play-in game and then got injured. He hasn't even
you know what the weirdest part about
yet.
Zion is? If you would have told us, like
Ryan Mills.
Besides that, well, man, I could take it a different direction, but Mariah Mills for sure. But aside from that, if you would have told me all his games missed each year, right? Like we go through whether it's 50 games, whether it's 35, whether it's 40, because it's all in that range. The last 6 years now he's been in the league. If you would have told me that blind and I didn't know anything, I would say, okay, he had surgery on this. He had this major injury. It hasn't been any of that. It's been these like weird hamstring, soft tissue injuries where he's pulling muscles and he's out for like 3 weeks longer than you'd expect. Seems like 3 weeks longer than every other player. It's almost, I don't understand it. I almost retroactively want to change, because I was actually going to give this to the Denver Nuggets. I almost want to retroactively give player and team to Zion and the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm not going to do that. Shouts to Brandon for bringing them up. But they are completely confusing. I think I'm more intrigued by them than any other team this offseason, because is this the year that it's kind of shit or get off the pot with Zion? Are they actually going to trade him? Are they actually going to, like, what are we doing here with Zion? because I really do feel like
you-
he's going to go to another team, and all of a sudden we're going to get whatever the hell it is, because he's like the NBA's version of Bigfoot. Because when he does play,
He averaged 25 points in less than 29 minutes this season. For his career in 214 games, he is 25, 6, and 4 with 59% from the floor and 32.7 from three and only 31 minutes.
What do you get for him? What do you get
that's
for
the thing.
him?
What do you
Like,
get?
what do you ask?
What do you
Like,
get? And
what's the
Keen, I want to
asking
point
price
out,
here?
we do all these every year. You do this top 30, top 25 NBA player, and I don't even know if Zion's even made your list due to games played. Otherwise, he'd
He's
be
been
in the
on
top
the.
15.
He made the list last year. He made the list going into this year because he played 70 games last year and he got injured, but he was like really good for the whole season. He played most of the games, so he was on the list last year. But like I only had him at like 20 in the 20s. Why? Because he just can't stay healthy. If he was fully healthy
Unreal.
every game, he would easily be in the top 15, if not the top 10. Like he would be right there. There's no
Unreal.
reason why he shouldn't be better than Kevin Durant. There's no reason why he shouldn't at this point be better than Kevin Durant. He's not, because he stays. Kevin Durant, who has health problems, stays healthier than Zion. That's crazy.
And by the way, Zion was in the best shape of his career. Like he finally dropped that weight and like looked great on the court, and he still could not stay injured for whatever reason.
Just can't do it.
Real quickly, I'm going to give my reason for Denver, and then we can move on because we still got quite a few categories here.
Yeah.
Denver, I mean, hey, we just seen them fire their coach, Michael Malone, and their GM with 5 days left in the season, right? 5 games, 5 days, whichever it was. They looked insane. And this is a team who has actively tried to be cheap since they won the NBA title. You've got the best player on earth in Nikola Jokic, and he will hold everything together with duct tape, damn near. Like he can. It's like Brady on the Patriots, man. You give him whatever he wants, he's going to get you a contender some way, somehow. But you can't really do that in the NBA. They're trying to make it, and again, this is the whole Michael Malone, Calvin Booth thing. This was Calvin Booth's side of things. He wanted to develop young talent and, win that way. Not bring Bruce Brown back. Not bring, what's my man's name from last year, who was a good player for them?
Caldwell Pope.
Caldwell Pope, yes, KCP. And those are 2 key parts of their championship, and they just willingly let them walk for not that much money. So they're not trying to squeeze the most juice they can out of this lemon at all, and that's disappointing. You had Jamal Murray, who started off this year not looking great, looking like his Olympic form, looking like his playoff form, then looking really good from January on. Now he seems to be injured. So it's just a whole bunch of confusion around them. Aaron Gordon didn't play a lot this year. Westbrook was giving them great minutes, I would say 95% of the year. And now it seems like the fan base has turned on him ever since the missed layup to 3-point foul type of thing. And he even had a bad game after that in Sacramento, I think the very next night. So, I mean, I have no clue what to expect from these guys going into the playoffs. It's very interesting. And you've got Jokic playing at a level like maybe only 6 players have ever reached in NBA history. You know what I mean? Just throwing out a number there, but he's playing
the
in
Warriors.
rarefied air.
I'm using the Warriors because the Warriors saw 67-win team won a championship. 73-9 team didn't win. They were lost in 7 in the finals to the Cavs, obviously. Let's go get Kevin Durant. I don't care about the luxury tax. I don't care about this. We're going to go try to do the most when we have a generational talent in Steph Curry. We're going to try to do the most we can. With Nikola Jokic, I don't care what the luxury, I don't care about. Just go get him players. Don't let other people walk. Because now, if Jokic averages 30, 12, and 10 and can't even be a top 2 seed in the league, what? And it's not like he's doing it on like, I'm a ball hog. He's doing it efficiently. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, not that I'm trying to say Westbrook's year wasn't great, but like Westbrook was literally like always ball in his hand. Like he's doing everything, like always. But like Jokic does it like within the flow of the game. It's just like, why aren't they a 58 win team at minimum? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. You can't have a guy playing, as Kyle said, Mike, Braun, like Magic, Prime Shaq, Bird. I mean, Bird won 3 straight MVPs. Wilt. Like, we're having to put all of these guys, like, in this kind of category. You have him playing at that level, and you can't even put pieces around. You can't even just keep Caldwell Pope and Bruce Brown. Like, are you kidding me? He should have 2 championships trying to go for a 3-peat. Like, that, he should be in that realm right now, because I would have put that around him.
I wouldn't go that far necessarily that he should have that,
like,
because the West
not
is
like
still
should,
loaded.
but like, sorry,
but
should is tough, but like at least be, I don't know. I guess
because contending, like a deep playoff run,
for sure.
You know, at least make it to the finals. Like whether you know,
because I'll give Minnesota their props. They outright beat Denver last year, and you know, maybe Bruce Brown does make a difference there, but like they ended up winning. They came back in the second half. They did their thing. It looked like Denver was really going to win that series at one point, and you know, I really do think Denver
halfway through the game, it looked like they were going to win the season.
Yeah. And
if they looked like they're going to blow them out.
If they get through that series, I can't say they probably get through Dallas, but I probably would have favored Jokic in that series over Doncic, former Dallas Maverick, Luka Doncic. So you're right. So saying that, man, I mean, that's the thing about this season, why they're so confusing. They should at least be one of the top contenders, and technically they still are, being a 3 seed, and it's a rough draw with the Clippers at the 6. But they are a team that, like, if they can make it past the Clippers, they're sitting there in the second round. You do feel more and more confident by the game with them. It's just, can they actually get to the second round? I think they would. I mean, who knows who they'll match up with, given that the Warriors got the 7 seed. So we can go a variety of different ways, but they're confusing, they're confounding, and they're dramatic, apparently, with this Michael Malone firing, because, wow, he's one of the best coaches in the league, for sure. What up?
Sorry, I don't know if you have anything else, but I have the next category we should go to.
Sure.
Because I've got 2 things.
Sure.
WTF moment. What's going on? And I got Jokic. My guy, that's Jokic. 61, 10, and 10, 30, 20, and 20. That's the guy I figured it would segue right in. I have another one down here, but I know you guys are going to touch on it, so I'm going to leave it. But yeah, Jokic. Like, who is this guy? What is he on the court doing? Like, are you kidding me? Why? He's putting up historic numbers and doing historic things on just nightly basis, and it's just like a regular. I thought his 56-point game was going to be his best game of the year. He topped that twice. And so, like, him alone, Jokic, is just what I wrote down. Nothing else, just Jokic. That is the moment. He is the moment.
I got to say, since you did want to segue to this, and we had our unanimous decision with Kevin Durant, I thought this was going to be the easiest unanimous decision of the entire podcast, because I thought there was no way we wouldn't come out of here with 3 Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers.
So that's why I said I'm going to let you guys talk about the other one. For me, I didn't even put that. I put the trade deadline, because Jimmy Butler going to the Warriors was crazy. De'Aaron Fox getting traded for pennies was crazy. And then obviously Luka headlines all that. So I wanted to mention something else because I knew that was going to be there. You guys take the floor on Luka Doncic. You guys had a podcast fully on it, so you guys take the floor on Luka. You guys got it.
Real quick. Shouts to Raj. Raj has been on the podcast. Happy birthday to Raja, and happy birthday to Aaron Medley. Happy birthday, Aaron Medley.
Shout out Aaron.
Coming back to New England in a few weeks. So shouts to Aaron. Happy April 16th to everybody who celebrates, I guess, right? But Raj,
he only up 14.
What's up?
Heat are only up 14 now.
Oh, wow. But really?
End of the third, 88-74.
I just checked like 5 minutes ago. It was still like a 20-point game. So Bulls making a little bit of run. But Raja just texted me, said he's got the Warriors upsetting the Rockets. And that's all he said. He said Warriors upsetting the Rockets and Celtics over the Magic. That's nothing big on the first round. But he did have an upset pick, if you want to call that an upset. I'm assuming the Warriors are going to be favored in that series. So that's not really an upset. But
yeah,
they're favored.
Shouts to Raj. Happy birthday, Raj. Back to Luka, though. This is the obvious what the fuck moment of the season. It's the what the fuck moment of the decade. And it could be the what the fuck moment of the next 25 years in the NBA. I was thinking last night, I'm like, what would be like on par with shocking to this, like prior and like before my time, even in the NBA? And all I could really come up with was the decision. Obviously, we had the decision in 2010. MJ's first retirement I'm assuming that was a major shock at the time. I can't even imagine, especially pre-social media. So the best player in the world retiring in the middle of his prime was probably fucking insane. And I'm sure his comeback on top of that was insane, right? That to baseball, like I'm sure that was a circus, and it was a circus as we've seen on The Last Dance. So I'm sure that's there. And then the last one I could come up with before that is Magic having to retire due to HIV, and people probably assuming that he was going to be dead within 18 months. And obviously he's still with us today.
Yeah.
But those were the only ones I could really come up with across a 30-year span.
I guess Kareem got traded back in the day, and that was crazy.
Sure.
Sure. And that's like all the way back to that. And
I think he pushed for a trade from what I've heard there. Like I think he was pushing to go to the Knicks or the Lakers way back in the day. And, Luka, as we saw, and I'd be interested to know you, because you guys were probably able to follow the game more intently than me, but the sound was kind of low when I was watching. It sounded like the Dallas fans were like treating the Lakers like royalty on top of Luka. Like they were almost like rooting against the Mavericks as they should have been.
Every single possession when Luka touched the ball, it was like LeBron's last game. Like what LeBron's last game will be like in LA.
That's what it was like.
Or like what Steph's last game will be like in Golden State. Every time he touches the ball, it's just like, I love this guy. I think the lip quiver really got him.
I would really love to see them move Dallas out of there, get them to Vegas, like people have been rumoring, but like if that's true, untrue, whatever, get them out of there, because the Dallas fans don't deserve to be tortured the way they will continuously be. So move them to Dallas, then move the Mavericks to Las Vegas, give Dallas an expansion team. So just instant team. They can be the Mavericks again, just like we're allegedly might get the Sonics back again. So then put in the Sonics, Vegas gets an expansion team, bring back the Mavericks, just whole new set, right? Maybe Mark Cuban buys them again, who knows, but get some real people who know what they're doing over there, because I just can't imagine what it's like being a Mavericks fan still. We're, 3 months removed now, 2 months removed from the trade. I still can't believe it. I'll never be able to comprehend or believe it. And, we're going to see Luke in the playoffs here doing his thing for the Lakers. But just to go back to that night, it was February 1st, right?
I think so.
Or it was the
I'll confirm, but yes.
But just to go,
it was late.
Yeah, it was super late. It was right after that Knicks.
February 1st into February 2nd.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was crazy. I've told the story on here. Obviously, I'm rarely ever asleep before midnight, and that night I went to bed exactly at midnight. Woke up at 6 a.m. and like couldn't even believe what I was seeing in my phone. Like my eyes were I was all groggy. I couldn't even see straight, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Between the notifications and the text, straight up, I'm like,
sway in the morning.
I'm like, this has got to be a dream. Like, this cannot be real. And then literally, it took me a little bit just to get back to sleep because I was still in shock. And then, obviously was catching up later on. But I mean, across sports, not just the NBA, that's one of the most shocking moments I've ever encountered. Brandon, if you want to continue with that, because I'm sure that's your what the fuck moment. I could be wrong, but
no, you're correct. I put in all caps Nico with 20 exclamation points behind it.
Speaking of Nico, that's another conversation for another day in Tennessee, Nico, but go on.
Oh, God, yeah. I am going to put a petition in to make Nico Harrison the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's do it in the NFL. Let's do it, baby. Let's go 2-0.
Who needs that Mahomes
Get him
guy?
out of there. Get him out of there.
Guy.
I see it right now. Trade Patrick Mahomes for Derek Carr and a third-round draft pick. But no, I mean, honestly, like that is the biggest what the fuck moment. Like, especially for me, like I still remember it. I was sitting right over there on the couch, was on Twitter, and the first thing I saw was Shams, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And I'm like, man, there's no way this is true. And like, I sat on Twitter for probably 10, 15 minutes because I'm like, nah, no way this is true. And then Underdog was the one that put it out first. And I was like, okay. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then I saw the tweets and everything, and I was like, there's no way. Like, this got to be like a sick rumor, like someone's playing a sick, cruel joke on everyone this late at night. Like, let us all go to bed, you psychos. Yeah, just like I sat there for probably an hour. Like, what the fuck? And like, I remember my brother looked at me. My brother was like, "Dude," he's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Man, Luka just got traded." And he was like, "Huh?" He's like, "What do you mean Luka just got traded?" I said, "Luka just got traded." And he literally looked at me. He's like, "Dude," he's like, "Stop messing with me." Are you good? You feeling sick? You hit your head? Like, what's going on? And I showed him. I'm like, "No," I'm like, honestly. And then when I saw it was for Anthony Davis and Max Christie, I was like, "Look, no disrespect to Anthony Davis, but I was like,
the fact they didn't get Austin Reeves is almost a bigger tragedy than trading Luka. Like, if you're gonna get rid of Luka, get rid of Luka. Whatever. Like, you're terrible, but like, why get a return for it? Like, are you kidding?
Dallas fans,
Yeah,
Mavericks fans still would have been just as pissed if it was Reeves and Anthony Davis, but you can at least almost talk yourself into it if you get an actual package for Luka Doncic. You've been like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to root for this team. I'm pissed at this team, but we still have a chance to maybe contend here. We got the right team around these guys, especially with Kyrie.
Yeah.
There, so.
And you got a guy who could play well and do something for the future, and then you got a guy for the present too. But like, Max Christie's your future now, crazy. And I was just thinking about it before because we talk obviously about this. I think the last time I was that shocked at something was maybe Malcolm Butler. I think that's the last time I was that shocked. Because obviously, like, the 28-3 was a slow burn. Like, that was like, oh, are they going to do it? Oh, they're going to do it. Oh, they're doing, like, but like the Malcolm Butler, because I was literally sitting there like, all right, throw him in the end zone. Give Brady a minute. He can operate with a minute. He can't operate with 15 seconds, guys. Like, let's do it. And then obviously second down, they threw the pass and pandemonium in Grandpa Bob's living room.
That shit was crazy.
And that was the last time I was like, that, like, what just happened moment. Like,
I was
that, and then that and Ray Allen. Like, those two, like, those are three.
Yeah.
Those are 3 plays or in life, or are 3 moments in life in my sports life where I'm thinking to myself, what?
Just a touch
just happened.
Kicks out to Allen. Bang!
I remember quickly about that Ray Allen shot. Like, since I wasn't rooting for anybody in that game, like, just was purely watching just from NBA fan perspective. After that happened, like, I had such an adrenaline rush, which you get from those type of games. But like man, I want to watch that game again if possible. That type of thing. Like,
yeah.
Actually, you know what though? There's an episode of Breaking Bad. It would be, what's the word? I'm not even gonna try to say it, but like second to last episode of Breaking Bad gave me that same feeling that Ray Allen making that shot, sending the Heat into overtime over the Spurs gave me, right? Malcolm Butler though, that because that was my team watching that, I think I was in straight up shock, Keenan, for like the next like 3 hours into the next day. Like, I couldn't even. Was in straight up shock. And that's how I was with Luka the next day. Like, the entire next day, that whole Sunday, I could not believe. Like, I can't even imagine what it felt for you guys being in the moment. I mean, I saw the text, obviously, but I could not.
Just trying to do homework, man. Just trying to do homework, man. And the phone's vibrating and vibrating and vibrating. I was like, "Golly, what's going on?" I'm just trying to do homework, and then like I stopped for 45 minutes. I was like, this project doesn't matter. I'll fail. Don't really care. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I was like, I got to alert the group chat. I was like, I don't think, because I was like, I was surprised that like none of y'all texted me, like, because normally like Keenan, both of y'all are like up to date on your shit, like,
yeah.
And everything. And I was like, and then nobody responded for a quick second. And I'm like, wait, am I the only one that knows about this right now? Like,
and then I responded after. It took me a few minutes, but I responded after. I was like, what is going on?
Those moments really do have you feeling like Shams or Woj when you're the first one to break real news, like a good trade to the group. Like, you feel like you're Woj himself breaking news to the group chat.
Yeah,
unreal day. It's probably a good thing that I wasn't awake, because I probably would have done a group FaceTime. I probably would have I don't even know what I would have done. Honest to God, I would have lost my shit. Real quick before we move on to the next category, you mentioned Nico Harrison, Keenan. He gave a very tone deaf press conference addressing the trade and everything this week, which I don't know why he did that. and
no regrets,
and really gave no
not even a single letter.
he really gave no real explanation or like thought out answer to why he made this trade, what his plan is going forward in the future. Truly one of the dumbest GMs I've ever seen in my life, and this is someone who was making good GM moves prior to this. Building around Luka, you put a good team around him who you'd want to lob threat and Derek Lively, other bigs, all these guys who can play defense. You got another scoring threat in Kyrie. You got shooters around him like Klay Thompson. And then you're like, you know what? He's lazy. He doesn't play defense. Let's get rid of him for AD of all people. Unreal. I'm sorry for Mavericks fans, but this will be a never-ending story because Luka's going to be in the NBA probably for another 15 years. Last tidbit, though, on Bill Simmons' last podcast, he actually said he had heard that word got around the league probably about 90 minutes before this deal got officially done, and that most of the league front offices didn't really have anything to say or didn't try to throw themselves in front of it because no one could believe that was the actual trade package for him, being AD or anything. They were just they thought it was just as real or as much of shock as we were in that night because they couldn't believe it either. So we'll never have it. I can't imagine anything in sports, NFL included, will top that over the next decade for sure. Let's go to funniest moment of the season. And Brandon, I'll start with you here.
So I've got an obscure one, and it's one that I actually remember pretty vaguely. I honestly, I laugh my ass off every time I think about it. Like, it's something so simple, but like to me, it's so funny. And it involves our good friend Benjamin Simmons, former #1 overall draft pick from LSU.
Okay.
It was a Nets Hornets game. I remember it like to the T. Ben Simmons gets a pass down low. He's in the post, and the announcer he goes, "All right, Ben Simmons, what do you got for us?" And he turns around, throws a hook shot. Well, motherfucker airballed it. Didn't even come close to the rim. You got the rim right here. It went wide left, and then he kind of just like stands and just kind of like looks around. And that, to me, that was hilarious. Like I died laughing for about 15 minutes because as soon as he gets the ball, now it's just like, all right, Ben Simmons, what do you got for us? And it's like, that's what Ben Simmons has got for you.
That's all he's got. That's all he's got. What a tragic.
It was bad. Like it had you could have taken the hoop and moved it 5 feet to the left, and he still didn't have a chance to make it.
Damn. All right, now you got to clip this. You got to send it to the group chat because I want to see this if possible. But by the sounds of it, it might be so obscure you might not even be able to find it, especially in a Nets Hornets game. So who knows?
Oh, I'll find it.
Kim, what about you? Funniest moment of the season?
All right. So LiAngelo Ball at the halftime show at the All-Star game. I must swerve in the corner. Whoa. No, that was like, because I was just sitting here. I had obviously a lot of homework was a lot of my life, and I was like, it was like a 2-show kind of thing for my homework assignment, and I was using the All-Star game. I was like, basically how like ESPN, everyone will talk pre-show, and then like after the game, like Tyler Hero won this, and like you're planning shows, and so I'm just sitting here watching it as I'm prepared, and then I'm like, LiAngelo is really the halftime performer. That is really something that came up overnight because the song came out like 3 weeks ago, and they're like, yeah, let's get him on. Whoa. And I was like, he just didn't know. He didn't know how to perform. And so, like, obviously he's never done it really. And so, like, he kind of didn't know how to, like, censor himself. Like, he did, but, like, he just looked odd. And so, like, everything about it just made me laugh. And I was like, okay. Shout out to the big baller, Brand. I love it. That was the funniest moment for me.
I still believe that's part of the reason the Detroit Lions lost was because they had him perform at halftime instead of literally pick a Detroit rapper you could have had perform there. I mean, obviously,
Sean came out with an album.
Yeah, right. You could have Big Sean.
Recently.
You got Royce over there. Like,
Yeah.
you could have had a medley of Detroit rappers, and you go and get the Chino Hills. Yeah, Eminem. Then you go and get the Chino Hills guy who, hadn't rapped up until that 2-week period up until then. That Lonzo wrote, by the way, he didn't even write the joint. So,
in the corner. Whoa, whoa.
my funniest moment of the NBA season is more of a montage, and then I actually have a personal one after that. Funniest moment of the NBA season is just the beef stew experience, the Isaiah Stewart experience. This guy just wants to fight every night. He just I can't tell you, and especially since the All-Star break, I can't tell you how many times I've opened Twitter and it's Isaiah Stewart trending, and I'm like,
doesn't matter who it's going
and
after.
I'm like, wonder if sarcastically asking myself, oh, I wonder if it's a dunk on somebody. I wonder if it's bro, I've never seen a single highlight of this guy shooting a jump shot, getting a rebound. Every highlight I see of him on Twitter, it's him trying to fight somebody. He's trying to fight Steph, bro.
Just squaring up.
He's squaring up. This dude literally wants to just fight all the time, and I can't wait to see him in a first-round series with the Knicks because that's going to be physical. Playoffs are physical by default.
He's Detroit through and through.
He's Detroit through and through.
Put him on the bad boy and put Pistons. He would have just been. He would have just been right next to 30, John Sally on the bench.
He's 30 years too late. I don't even remember players in the 2000s that want to fight as much as this guy. This guy wants to square up every night, and not even the NBA style of fights. Not even I'm going to shove you. Someone's going to get in between us. Then
this dude's going full blown UFC, hardcore MMA.
This guy tried to kill Braun a few years ago.
Could you imagine him and Charles Oakley in the front court on the floor just enforcing?
That's the era he should have played in. He should have been a Charles Oakley because
the late '80s, early '90s players exactly what
he is not built. He is not built for Adam Silver's NBA. I can tell you that, and it's actually amazing how he has not been suspended for 20-25 games yet. But you know what? The fact that he hasn't, kind of love it because it encourages his behavior, and he will definitely.
Man. The Malice in the Palace, he would have gone insane. Oh my god! Oh my god!
He somehow would have attacked his own fans or attacked the whole Pacers team.
He would have attacked his own team.
Or his own team at that point. He might have just blacked out and fought everybody. He might have been. You know what? He might have been so.
Hadouken!
He might have been so hyped, and he might have been so happy that an actual fight was breaking out. You might be right, Keen. He might have tried to take on coaching staff of both teams. He might have tried to take on his own team, the Pacers, the fans. He might have been so with it because someone was finally fighting that he just.
The announcers should have been like,
the announcers,
what'd you say?
You're right. You talking about me?
Mass hysteria. Talk to me.
Oh my God.
That.
And then this second moment, actually, this happened to me probably about a month ago. This is very, very, very specific and unique. All right. This involves Shaquille O'Neal, who is notoriously insecure. For someone who's an NBA legend, he's always biting back at somebody. He's always talking down about today's centers, today's league. And just again, if you say anything about him, he gets completely insecure, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this clip. It's a classic clip. It's after Shaq has been traded to the Suns, right? Suns play the Spurs in that first round series. If you remember, Tim Duncan makes that 3 in game 1. You guys remember this? Famously in that series, they hack a Shaq a ton, slow the games down a ton. Yeah. Fast forward to the next season, Spurs and Suns play in game 1 of the season, right? Opening night. And they do the jump ball, they do the tip, and Greg Popovich does a hack a Shaq first play of the season, right? And obviously you can't shoot yet, so Shaq's like, what the fuck, right? And camera goes to Greg Popovich, and he's laughing. He's got the thumbs up to Shaq, like, hey, we're just fucking with you, right? That's you guys seen this clip at all?
That one I hadn't actually seen, but I'll look at it soon.
So that's literally exactly what happened is the clip, right? Jump ball, tip, they fake foul Shaq, refs call it. Greg Popovich looks at Shaq and says, hey, we're fucking with you, okay? I see this clip on Instagram. Someone posted it saying how funny it is. Literally just how I described it to you, that's how this person is describing it to the viewer on Instagram, okay? And this doesn't seem to be that big of an account. It just kind of popped up on my reels. I go to the comments, guys. No comments, right? Not many likes. We'll say something like, I don't know, probably less than 500 likes. There is only one comment. And again, this isn't even putting down Shaq. This is explaining the clip. Only one comment. It's Shaquille O'Neal himself talking about 4 rings, you bum. Who cares about my foul shooting? I got 4 rings, top 5. I'm like, bro, Shaq is like looking for smoke everywhere he can. I couldn't believe it. I should have screenshotted it, but I'm not kidding. There was not one single comment in this Instagram reel except for Shaq. And again, this didn't have a ton of views. Obviously not a ton of likes and comments if Shaq was the only comment, but Shaq found a way to find it, and he must not have even watched it because the video was not even shitting on him. It was literally just explaining how funny Greg Popovich was being, and Shaq took direct offense to it. So that's my I mean, it's semi-NBA related. Shaq's obviously retired, but that's my second personal favorite.
That's
funniest moment of the season.
That's funny.
Most of what I have left is playoffs, but the last one regarding the 2024-2025 campaign itself is, and Keenan sort of answered this for himself already, who is the best player, Brandon Petty, that you saw this season?
So I was obviously going to put Jokic on there. I think Jokic is clearly the best player in the NBA, and then you could throw Shea in there. I went with kind of like I wouldn't say it's like totally out of left field, but like he was damn good this year. And that's Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Like, Cade Cunningham balled out this year. Like, honestly, like, you go from one of the worst teams in the league last year with the Detroit Pistons to now being a playoff team, the 6th seed, I believe. Like, one of the biggest turnarounds in NBA history. And a lot of the credit goes to Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham played at damn near an all NBA level
for sure. For sure.
He should be. He'll be an all NBA performer. I think there's a slight chance he could be first team. I think he'll probably end up second.
How about first?
I'd be okay with that if he was second.
That last guard spot's probably either going to be Donovan Mitchell, Ant, or Cade. Be that last spot. It'll be one of those 3, but Cade's definitely going to be second team. But like, there's a chance he might sneak in first, depending on like what you go with record wise with Donovan Mitchell, and obviously leading that team or Cade. But it's close to it.
Yeah, he a hell of a year. I think he put up 26, close to 27 points. I think 9 assists and like 6 rebounds this year on good shooting splits.
47% shooting and 35 from 3 in 35 minutes a game.
So yeah, and he's put Detroit on the map. Like a lot of people are actually paying attention to Detroit now. Like Cade Cunningham gets a lot of attention. It kind of gets like a little bit of hate because people are like, which I kind of get it, but like as a top pick, you can't be a most improved player or whatever. Like, well, you kind of still can. Like, there's no stipulations on that award. Like, Cade Cunningham has been a baller this year, and I think like that's another high draft pick that I feel like a lot of people forget about. Like, number 1 overall guy out of Oklahoma State, like didn't really get the recognition that he deserved up until this year. I think it proved to a lot of people that like, hey, I can be, the franchise player for a perennial playoff contender. And that team's young too. Like, watch out.
Yes. He is my actual most improved. We're not doing like the natural award, so like he is actually my most improved player because Kyle and I talk about this. The players who actually like legitimately improve rather than the guys who go from like 20 to 34 minutes where their stats are clearly going to go up. Those are the guys I like to give it to more because like you ascend to just such a level. Like you are really elevating your game from like, say, the 25th best player to like trying to be top 10. I mean, he's going to be probably all NBA second team, so he was a top 10 performer throughout the entirety of the season. Like those are the guys I like to give most improved to because they went from very good to elite or like something along those lines, depending on where it kind of falls. So I love the fact that you put Cade Cunningham. So Kyle, did you want me to go or do you want to go?
You can go. You can continue.
Okay. So Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league, and Nikola Jokic was the best player. I'm gonna give a couple other guys shine just because Nikola Jokic. Obviously, I talked about the old guys in the league, Durant, LeBron, and Steph. Like, those 3 guys are doing things that have really never been done before. Like, if you go look at all these age seasons, like, they're so good, and it's like you kind of forget how, like, this doesn't happen the same way when Tom Brady was really good, and like that doesn't happen often. So like give those guys credit. But there are two guys I really want to highlight, and it's Jason Tatum and Giannis. Felt like these guys both just do it under the radar, especially Giannis this season. Like the Celtics are such a good team that you naturally mention Jason Tatum, and people would mention Tatum because the whole face of the league thing. Giannis is just quietly putting up 30, like 13 and 6. Giannis, speaking of Jokic 30 2020, Giannis had a 35 2015 game, and the 20 was assist. Like, Giannis has just been going out and doing amazing things, not talked about by anybody. Like, he's just not being talked about by his soul. So I want to shout out Giannis because like he to me is definitively the second best player in the league. Like it goes Jokic, then Giannis, and then that third you could debate. Like you could debate Luka, you could say Shea, you could say some people say Tatum. Like that third's there, but one is Jokic, two is Giannis, and to me that's not debatable. That's to me. Obviously, other people can have their own opinions, but to me that's not debatable. So I wanted to shout out Tatum and Giannis.
For sure. I do want to say, I think Cade's going to win the most improved, and I actually kind of hate it because I feel like he's doing what he should do as a number one overall pick. Love his season, don't get me wrong, but this is someone who was injured pretty immediately last season. Like I think he was injured by December and was ruled out for the year. So that's my only reason why I hate him winning this award. But that's more so for the people who actually vote, because I think NBA voters can get lazy when it comes to one, defensive player of the year, but two, most improved.
I need them to continue to be lazy until next year with defensive player of the year.
With Draymond,
I need Draymond to win because I got money on this.
We got 25 to 30 games of elite defense from Draymond, and that he's going to win it allegedly. So I mean,
like right now, I think like out of the people who have already given ballots, I think like 4 have given it to Evan Mobley, 2 to Draymond, Zubac got 1, Dyson Daniels got 1. So it's going to be close, and Evan Mobley might actually end up winning it. I need him not to, and I need Draymond Green to win the award. So I need people to just be, listen, I put this in $10. I need to win 860 off of 10. So like I just continue, be lazy this year. Next year we could change it. But be lazy this year. Just say, Draymond's talked about it. Let's give it to him.
All right. So obviously the answer for this is Jokic, right? Like he's the best player in the league. Damn near by far, and I agree with you, Keenan. Giannis is probably second. This is going to be a season. It's very much like Steph's 2016, where I'm just going to remember Jokic from this year, like just the insane stat lines, how easy this game is for him. On top of him averaging a triple-double, 55 from the field and 40 from three. Like, what's wrong with this guy? I'm kind of echoing what Keenan said earlier of him being the what the fuck moment, but like, how are you that good? And also not any sort of athleticism there. Obviously, he's got like insane strength because he can manhandle just about anyone in the post when it comes to, taking someone down low. But for you to be that good with the world's best athletes and for you to dominate that easily, I don't understand it. And then shoot that efficiently on top of being probably the best playmaker in the league. But Keenan, you kind of made the case as to why, and I'm going to get my awards hate on here again. You kind of made the case as to why it should be Jokic for MVP rather than SGA by saying Giannis is the clear number 2. By saying Luka number 3. You'd have a debate for Luka.
I'd probably have Shea 3, Luka 4, Tatum 5. But like those are my top 5. How you order 3 through 5 is kind of how you order 3 through 5.
Point being, and everyone's reason for, let's say SGA does win it, everyone's reason is going to be the final record. And it's not to say SGA is not deserving to be in the conversation because he absolutely is. But I think when we all look back on the season, we're all going to think of Jokic. And I also think if we switched Jokic for SGA, are we saying that they're also not going to win 64, 65 plus games with Jokic at the center, with all that talent around him, with all those defensive players around him? Like, we see what Jokic does with no talent around him. I'm not saying this team has no talent, but that 2021 season, I pointed this out multiple times in the podcast. Go look and see how many players are still in the league today from his 2021 campaign, because he had Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray out. Every other player on that team is either not in a rotation or not at all in the league. And he got a 6 seed out of him. And Embiid would have been the next guy who should have won it. Some people say that was the big debate. And he was, I think, within 3 to 5 wins of the Sixers that year with absolutely nobody on his team. And I'm not saying nobody like how people say that with Bron, like when he had like at least like maybe an all-star next to him. No. He had literally nobody that's even relevant in the league just a short time later. So, yeah, Keenan, with you saying that about Giannis, about how he's clearly the second best, I think we're going to feel a way about this award 5 to 10 years from now when it comes to Jokic and SGA, because I think SGA is going to win.
SGA is going to win it. And here's the thing. I'm going to quickly comment on that. I'll let Brandon comment after. With Shea, you lean to 68 wins. He had like 72 straight games with like 20 plus points or more, which has never been done. So like he's done historic things, like the youngest team to ever have 60 wins in a year. So he is deserving of it. And I know that you're not saying he's not deserving of it, but like when you look back on this season, you're going to think Jokic. The only way that could change, and I know the playoffs don't have implications on the regular season, but if like the Thunder won it all, then you'd be like, oh, Shea won the MVP. It made sense. Like, but you'd also remember Jokic too. Like if that makes sense. Like if the Thunder win it all, then I think the MVP is almost more justified. But say if the Nuggets and the Thunder have a chance to meet in the second round, and could you imagine if the Nuggets, Shea's getting the MVP award in that series while the Nuggets beat the Thunder? That'd be crazy. So like that's kind of like that kind of thing. I think the playoffs are almost going to help determine what you're saying, and I don't think as of right now, I don't think you're wrong at all. What we remember is how crazy Jokic is. I mean, clearly he is my moment. Like he is as crazy.
I just think this season so singular compared to that 2016 Steph season where he was unanimous. That you know, if the Thunder win 62 games, are we even still talking about this? Is my thing. Are we like? I think it would be Jokic going away if it was just that. I understand the Thunder have been that much more dominant, and you know maybe they've been without Chet for a large portion of the season, who's you know anywhere between their 2 and 3 as far as importance. But I don't know. I think that's more. Maybe it's more coaching than it is SGA for that record. And SGA, again, I completely agree with you. Top 5, like best scorer in the league for sure, but. I don't know. I think this one should be Jokic's award, and who knows if it'll actually be Jokic's award. Petty, any response?
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be Jokic's award. Like, I get it. Like, being a 68-win team, like, that's great and all. But, like, when I think of, like, an MVP, like, I think of, like, the player that means the most to their team. Like, obviously, team success has to be incorporated. I think if Denver would have won 6 to 8 more games, I really don't think it would have been a conversation at all. Like, I think if Denver came out and won 59, 60 games, like, I don't think it would be a conversation. Like, I think Jokic would win it and with the semi-runaway. Love Shea. Like, I think he's a great player, but, like, I think if you took Jokic off of Denver, Denver would be a far worse team versus OKC without Shea. Because I think Jokic means that much because of his scoring, his playmaking. Like you said, Kyle, how strong and physical he is. Like, he's doing something that, like, kind of like, yeah, we've seen triple doubles with Russ, but like it was different. Like, Russ was damn near stat padding. Like, Jokic is just like, Jokic can go out and do this in his sleep. Like, it's ridiculous that, like, what we're seeing, and I understand. Like, I think Shea has a deserving case to win MVP, but, like, I would give it to Jokic. Like, I think 5 years from now, we're all going to sit here and say, damn, like, especially if if Denver goes on a little playoff run, I think a lot of people are going to sit back and say, damn, you know, maybe Jokic was the MVP, you know, that year. Like, you know, maybe we messed up giving it to Shea, like, whatever. But I agree. Like, I think it should be Jokic. Like, it's honestly a shame, like, that he doesn't get it, because any other year he would get it. Like, I really don't think it matters what year it is. Like, I think he has to get it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Listen, I got 3 more playoff topics. Let's kind of do these rapid fire, 3 playoff questions, I should say, and then we got that last final music topic. So, kind of in line with, we just said best player we saw this season. This is going to be player centric here. Who is the sleeping giant of this postseason? So, who's the one player you think people are just sleeping on, and he has a chance to really just go on a run with this team?
So I'm going to go quickly on this one.
Go ahead.
Obviously, there's Jokic, there's Shea, there's Giannis, there's Steph, LeBron. Like, all these guys are guys that you think are going to probably do a lot. My guy's Donovan Mitchell. I think that Donovan Mitchell's been pacing himself throughout the entire season. We have seen him multiple times ball out in the playoffs, put up 50s, go back and forth. I think Donovan Mitchell's like, oh, you guys don't think I can win a championship? You guys don't even think I can compete for one? All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna show you why I'm Donovan Mitchell and why I'm really one of the 15 best players in the league.
I like that answer. Keenan. I like that answer.
Sorry.
I have a backup. I had a backup for this one just in case. I actually was Donovan Mitchell for mine. Like, I think Donovan Mitchell is incredibly disrespected. Like,
I had a backup too, just in case. Sorry, I didn't know my backup.
He doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I'm gonna go with Jalen Green. It's an obscure answer.
Calling Jalen Green a giant.
Like I think like just his point production. Like Jalen Green has like these little 8 to 10 game runs where he just goes on these massive heaters where he puts up 30 points, 40 points. Like, if you come out and they have the Warriors, correct?
Yep.
That's their okay. So you come out and do that against Steph and Jimmy Butler, and let's say Houston wins this series in 6 games. Like, you're going to put yourself on the map. Like, and Houston's got a good team around them too. Like, I wouldn't be mad if you said, hey, Şengün's, the sleeping giant on that team. But, like, I feel like for me, it's Jalen Green. I love Jalen Green as a player. I think he's just a microwave of a scorer. Like, I think if he comes out and has a series like that and, Houston kind of makes a little run, which is certainly possible because they have the talent to do it. I think he could do some damage. I really do. I think he could be a problem for some teams. I think he's that talented. I just think a lot of people haven't seen it yet because there's a lot of other people on that Houston team. Şengün, Van Vliet, Thompson, Dylan Brooks, Cam Whitmore. Like, that's another deep team. I think if Jalen Green was on a different team that maybe didn't have as many options, like, I think he'd be closer to maybe like a 26, 27 a game kind of scorer on good efficiency too. Yeah. But I think he's super underrated. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of has a coming out party.
I like it.
I have a guess on who Kyle's going to say.
Go ahead. Let's hear the guess.
Kawhi.
It's great, but it is actually Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
It has been, I believe, now 3 full years since we've seen Giannis healthy in the playoffs. Because I believe 23, right, was the year the Heat made their run. He got injured in Game 1. And then last year he gets injured during I don't think he even played in the Pacers series, right? He might have played the first couple games.
Nope.
No, so we didn't
even since Game 7 against Boston in that series.
And he was insane. I remember this was pre-retirement Celtics fan Kyle. I was watching that game, scared to death of Giannis, and they weren't even at full strength, I believe. I think Middleton was still banged up. And I think Giannis in that game put up like 45 and 10, if I'm correct, or maybe even 45 and 15.
It was Game 6. So Game 6, he put up 44 and 20. But Jason Tatum put up 46 in Milwaukee and won. And then Game 7, Grant Williams had like 8 threes.
7 or 8 threes, yeah.
And then
I think
7
Giannis
or 8 threes. And then
Giannis still had a great game.
Giannis had like 29, 13, and 7. He wasn't as efficient as Giannis is, but like still 29, 13, and 7. Something along those lines, but yeah.
Man, exactly what Keenan said when he gave Giannis shine for best player of the year. Giannis has been like a definitive number 2 behind Jokic. I mean, there's some seasons where Doncic is right there too, but man, Giannis has just like quietly been putting up 30 and 12s and 30, 12 and 6 or 30, 12 and 7. Like, his stat lines are just ridiculous. And for us to finally have him, yes, it's going to be without Dame, but for us to finally have a healthy Giannis, I think people are just writing them off in this series because they got the Pacers again correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, who on the Pacers is going to check Giannis at all? Who at all is going to be able to, like, if he gets your front line in foul trouble, okay, then what's your answer? Because guess what? He's going to be on 120 the entire game. He's going to be, especially at the pace the Pacers play at, Giannis is going to be going to the rim 75 times. And it's up to you to either close out the shooter that he hits or, step in front of him, take that charge, defer him at the rim because it's going to be hard. And that's shouts to the Pacers. I've shit on their defense before. They're apparently like 8th in the league over the last like 30 games in defense, but it's going to be hard, Dame or no Dame, to keep Giannis away from at least a game 7 in that Indy series. So I'm very intrigued by that, and I can't wait to see what Giannis does.
All right. I know we're rapid firing this last part. I just want to say this real quick. Giannis, since his first MVP, which was 2018-2019, and per 36, he's putting up 32, 14, and 6.5 per game throughout those entire 6 seasons.
What's his raw stats? Seasons. No, per 36.
30, 12, and 6.
That's nuts. With probably a block and 2 steals.
In 33 minutes a game. And hold on just a second, I can give you that. With a steal and a block a game.
Wow.
Sounds about right. All right.
Yeah.
Team I am most looking forward to watching in the playoffs, Brandon Petty.
So this is going to piggyback off of my sleeping giant. I'm excited to watch the Houston Rockets. Like, I really am. Like, a young team with all that talent. Like, you got Golden State, like, first round matchup. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a team that can go on a little bit of a run. Like, I think they have a pretty good makeup for a playoff contender. And honestly, too, it would be a coming out party for a lot of their young guys, not just Jalen Green, but Şengün,
Thompson.
And then Thompson. Yeah, like, that's who I want to see. Because, like, a lot of the times with young teams like that, they don't really perform in the playoffs. I can see it being a little different because Fran VanVleet is there. Like, it does help out to have that veteran presence and a guy that's been there before.
He played the Warriors in the finals. Udoka's coached against the Warriors in the finals. There's two guys who are familiar with Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, and how they operate. So it's a little bit different than your regular young team that hasn't been in those situations.
Sure.
Yeah, like you're not getting, Ja from a couple of years ago. A team like that, like guys that really haven't been there before, just an organization that hasn't been there before. I really do believe that the Rockets can do some damage. Like, I think they've got size, they've got shooting, they've, shot making, rebounding, like they can do everything. So I'm really excited to watch them.
For sure. Keen, who you got?
For me, it's actually, I have a lot of teams here. The Rockets were one of them. That series is my most excited series, but the team is Boston. How dominant are they? Like, it's like, how dominant, like, did they sleepwalk through the season and still get to about 60 wins? Like, I just want to know how good they are because, like, are they not creeping up with, like, all-time great teams, but, like, okay, they may be able to go on a dynastic run. And another guy that we were talking about, sleeping giant, Jason Tatum was a guy I was going to mention towards the back half because this could be, obviously last year there was always the talk about, like, is Jaylen Brown just as good as Jason Tatum? No, Jason Tatum is the best player on that team, and it's not close to me. Like, it's just not, to me, that is just how I feel. But, like, he has a chance, I think, if they go out and win and Tatum just, like, puts a stamp and be like, guys, like, I'm really him, I think that it could be great for, obviously, everything that goes along with the Celtics. So the Celtics are the team that I'm like, how good are they? I know the first round is going to be whatever, but, like, if they can get rid of the Cavs in, like, 5 or 6 and then maybe get to the finals and not even get to a game 7, it's like, oh, no, this team's actually just really, really good, like all-time great good. So that's the team I'm looking forward to see.
It's a great answer, especially given that they weren't really tested last year. I mean, it wasn't their fault who they ended up with getting the Pacers in the conference finals.
Yeah.
getting the Mavericks not at their best either. The Mavericks were at their best, but that was a mismatch for them, I think. So
Yeah.
kind of fell in the Celtics' lap. But I like that answer. I like both answers. If you've been paying attention to this podcast at all, you guys already know my answer. It's the Clippers. I'm extremely intrigued by them. Exactly why Keenan thought maybe I was going with Kawhi for sleeping giant. I mean, same thing. When's the last time we actually got Kawhi a fully healthy postseason? I believe it was the bubble, because 21 he goes out with a torn ACL. 22 he goes out, or he doesn't even return from the ACL.
Yeah.
23 he gets injured again, and last year he gets injured, I think, before game one. I don't even know if I think he played maybe 2 games. I think he played maybe 2 games last year.
I think he played 2 games, and then like he just left with a phantom injury in game 3 and just didn't play.
Like a phantom hamstring injury or something. I remember that.
Something just, it's like some random thing where like you didn't see it during the game, and then you have like people analyzing like it looked like on this shot, and it's like, oh, he just jumped and landed.
For sure. For sure. So I mean,
when the Twitter doctors come out,
exactly. I mean, that's exactly been the Kawhi experience in a nutshell. Really, since Toronto, and again, really since the bubble. That was the last time we seen him fully healthy. And every time we have seen him in the playoffs before he inevitably goes out with an injury, he's killing. And he's killing this year again. He just came back in January, and guess what? Seems to be all there offensively and defensively. He can just still take over games. They've got a squad with him.
I hope Harden plays like he did the last game of the season against the Warriors. Like, I would love that Harden. Like, I would love to see that Harden. I'd love for him to get the Clayton Kershaw finally doing something in the playoff, get the monkey off his back. I would like that. But I actually almost wrote down for sleeping giant James Harden. I erased it. Like, I put James and then I erased it because I was like, nope, I'm not doing that to myself again. I said it out loud. I was like, not doing that to myself again. I'll wait and see it.
Sure.
Like, I'm not predicting it. I'll wait and see it.
For sure. I mean, look. Again, you got Kawhi, who can go toe-to-toe with anybody. He's not scared of Bron. He's not scared of Giannis. He's not going to be afraid of Jokic and that whole thing. Nope. That whole team's not going to be afraid because they've all been there. You mentioned James Harden. We know how he is, especially in closeout games or important games where you really need him to step up. That being said, he's been in do-or-die games. He's been in a lot of big games. He's not going to be phased at all by Denver or by the playoffs in general. If they were to meet up with the OKC Thunder, Harden's not going to be intimidated. Kawhi's not going to be intimidated. Tyronn Lue's not going to be intimidated. These guys have all played in important games. They've all played in finals games. Their bench is ready. Zubac is playing at a extremely high level. He's low-key playing at a all-NBA level for a center.
Oh, yeah. He could possibly make the third team, absolutely.
So, I mean, if Kawhi can stay healthy, and that's your number one question, if Kawhi can stay healthy, this team can compete with anybody and, more importantly, be anybody. So, that would be my answer for this category. And then our final category is, unless you guys have any rebuttal to that.
No, not at all.
Round 1 upset watch. Who would be, you don't necessarily have to pick this team for an upset, but if you're going to go, hey, I think people are sleeping on this team or sleeping on this matchup, this is the one I'm keying in on. I think this team could pull off the upset and we could see them in round 2. Brandon Petty.
I got the New York Knicks on upset watch. With the 3-6 matchup against the Detroit Pistons. New York's defense concerns me. Their lack of depth as well too. Like it's mainly just the Jalen Brunson show. Like, and then you've got some Cat there. You have the occasional OG game and the occasional Mikal Bridges game. I think the Pistons can make it a 7-game series, and honestly, I would not be surprised if the Pistons just outright won that series. If Detroit closed it out in 6 games, I would not be shocked. I feel like people get so caught up in New York just being, with Jalen Brunson and, how great Jalen Brunson is. I feel like a lot of people are going to overlook the Pistons in this series. And I really think the Knicks need to be concerned because the one thing about the Pistons, they're going to be physical with you and they're going to punch you in the mouth. And if you don't respond to it, they're going to run you out of the arena. We've seen it, and especially too if Isaiah Stewart gets going. God, Cat, good luck, Karl Anthony Towns. Because Cat is not about that life at all. So I'm looking forward to that series. That's besides the Rockets Warriors, that's probably going to be the series that I pay the most attention to. I think it's going to be a great one. I really do.
I-
I,
I'm gonna jump in because I completely agree. That's exactly the matchup I have. I've got the Knicks on upset alert too because yeah, I think not only the Pistons just a tough matchup for them, like you said, the physicality. I think they're the deeper team. I think they're the better shooting team, which is where I really think they could get the Knicks possibly. And Towns is known for getting in foul trouble in these playoff games, like early foul trouble, which last year wasn't really an issue when you got Nas Reed and you got Rudy Gobert. It's really just him and Mitchell Robinson manning the big man spot in New York. So, yeah, man, if you get Towns out of that game early, yeah, you're still going to have Brunson and Bridges and whoever else. Like, you're going to be able to score the ball. We get that. But this isn't the Tibbs defensive teams that we usually see. This is more of an offensive team. And usually they're the tough team. Maybe not as tough as Detroit. I mean, this, like we've been saying, this Detroit team's like out of the 80s, seemingly, but, or even the 90s. But I really don't know if the Knicks could hang. I really would not be surprised if we see Detroit in round two. I think there's a lot of advantages for Detroit here. I know we joke about it, and I know Brandon said it, like, yo, what if Isaiah Stewart gets going and he just kind of,
yeah.
fucks with Towns in a certain way? I like it's true. What if he just fucking clotheslines Jalen Brunson going to the rim and he says, "Fuck it, I'll miss the next 2 or 3 games. If I'm gonna knock this guy the fuck out." Like that's it for New York. If Jalen Brunson's concussed, like
He
that's
could
it.
pop off at any second.
He really could. Like that's a complete
Dude's a
possibility.
loose cannon with unlimited Black Air Force energy. Like,
Straight up, straight up,
like
unlimited.
No, absolutely.
Like he's a fucking superhero. Unlimited.
And I'm
Black Force
gonna
Air
just
Force
piggyback
energy.
off of that because that was the one I had. Absolutely no. Detroit easily could win this series, and the thing about it is too. I'll talk even more on the less Black Air Force side, and we'll talk more on the just basketball side. They have the youth, they have the physicality, but they also have Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley's played in big playoff games. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s played in many playoff
Very
series.
true.
I understand Tobias Harris has been up and down in playoff series. He's still played in them. Dennis Schroeder is there. He's played in multiple playoff series. So, like, they have veterans who have the actual get run that have played in these series, plus having guys like Cade, like Jalen Durant, like those kind of guys who obviously haven't been in those situations, but they're still very talented. So I think they have a really good mix. Do I think they can contend with Boston or Cleveland? No. But do I think they can beat New York in the first round? Absolutely. I think they could have beaten any team in the first round or have at least a chance to that wasn't Boston or Cleveland. I think they have the opportunity to do that. Milwaukee would have been tough just because I think Giannis is such a tough matchup for them, but like they could have made it a physical series with Indiana to like where they can't just run and gun like they typically do. But Detroit over New York was the one that I had circled. Then I had Houston over Golden State, and then that was another one that I thought just because like it's just two different style of teams, and obviously styles makes fights. So it's the Rockets are difficult for the Warriors, but the Warriors can pose threat matchups for the Rockets that are going to be interesting. So that's my most interesting series. That the Knicks Pistons, and then Clippers Nuggets is just. That's just blockbuster. Like that's just blockbuster. That is 3 surefire Hall of Famers on one court. A really good coach, really good role players with the Clippers. You've got obviously playoff Murray. Like that's just there's too much talent on that. Like theoretically, that could be a Western Conference Finals matchup, and you'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Sure.
Like those are 2 really good teams that could do that. So getting that in the first round is going to be a treat.
I do have one quick question, real quick, for both of y'all.
Yep.
Back to the Kawhi Leonard thing, it just randomly popped up in my head. If you get a healthy Kawhi, like if you were told right now that hey, you're going to have a healthy Kawhi for as long as the Clippers are in the playoffs, you think they could make a title run?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
With what they have?
Absolutely, because the reason why I don't have them in that thought is I just can't book Kawhi to be healthy. Mm-hmm. Like that's always been my thing. Because this team has enough to where James Harden can be facilitator and be truly just facilitator. Because Kawhi, every possession down the stretch can be the, okay, here. Because like a lot of the time with Harden, even when it was with Embiid, like it's sometimes tough to run through your post guys consistently, where Harden has to make plays on the outside. With Kawhi Leonard being fully healthy, he doesn't have to do that, and he can just be an elite passer. And then you have Norman Powell to shoot threes. You have Zubac who can be around the basket and get like they're easily. If the Clippers won it all this year, it wouldn't like it would shock me a bit just because I think Boston's so good. But if they got to the finals, I would be like, okay, makes sense.
Just on the Western Conference side of things, and specifically OKC, I think the Clippers have enough shooting, defense, and size. You could throw in athleticism if you need, but especially coaching. They've got all that in spades to where they are just a perfect foil for OKC in a way that even Jokic and the Nuggets can't match up with the Thunder the way the Clippers can. So I think the Clippers, they're so versatile to where they can match up with damn near anybody, honestly. So that's where I'm at.
They can play small. They can play small ball if you need to play small ball. They can play you out of small ball. They can go big, like they can do. They have Ben Simmons, so like, of course they can do everything.
Jack of all trades. By the way, shout out to JB Bickerstaff. We talked a lot of Pistons. We did not really shout him out because
Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah, he's been on some playoff teams with the Cavs, and then turns around and turns the Pistons, who were the laughingstock of the league last year, into a playoff team.
Yep. Absolutely.
Fellas, any final thoughts on the NBA side of things? This was a lot of fun. I like this.
Not at all. This was great. I'm excited. Yeah. Let's get into this music thing. I'm interested.
Yes.
Then we can bid us adieu.
Last rapid fire question. I want to be quick, and I think I'm going to start throwing this out routinely. Maybe not every episode, but maybe semi-annually, maybe bi-weekly or something like that. I saw this clip on Instagram. The Joe Budden podcast, shouts to them. They threw this out. You can use this at any time. So I'm going to throw it to y'all, all right? The premise is very simple. Shit on a classic. Classic song, classic album. Give me a song or album that everybody seemingly fucks with or is very renowned that you guys just cannot get behind.
Oh, give me half a second.
Kyle,
can you go first?
I'll throw it out, all right? 50 is one of my all-time favorite rappers, one of my all-time favorite artists. I would not care if I never heard In the Club again. And if you want me to keep it more current, I've said this, and I think I've already said this in the pod umpteen times. Not Like Us. If I never heard Not Like Us again, I'd be okay with it. I do not love that song in the slightest. It's cool. It is cool sometimes when you hear it out, but I think I heard it so much this summer that I'm like, all right, I get it. I've had enough of it. So those would be two for me.
Brandon, do you have anything?
Gears are turning. I'm still thinking.
Oh man, I'm in that same. I'm in that
one. I thought y'all was ready.
No.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that.
Well, here's the thing. Like anything Flow Rida sucks. So like, if you want to go down, if you want to count that, like, but that's kind of like pop hip hop ish. I mean, weird way. But I think
like classics. Like you still hear these songs today from 2015, 10 years ago. They're gonna continue playing 10.
I mean. Absolutely. I mean, if it has to be hip hop, let me think for a second. If not, Holiday Inn by Pitbull. Golly, can't stand it.
Oh God,
that's a classic.
Because I feel like that's a song I'm going to hear forever. Like I've heard that song plenty of times. But
that one. All right.
We at the hotel, motel. Golly,
I actually kind of fuck with that song. Well, I got you.
Not me.
That's what Ying Yang. That's like one of the Ying Yang Twins' like last relevant moments too. I think, right? Isn't it Ying Yang Twins?
Not me. I think so. I don't listen. I don't know the song well enough to care. I'll avoid that song like the plague. Don't love it at all. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look at an album here to see like what I think is overrated. Damn. Oh man. Brandon, do you have this is shocking, Brandon. I thought you would have something more that you just
I had one that kind of like instantly popped up in my head. Like, and I hate to do this because he's one of my favorite artists. I am gonna go with the Lil Wayne song. I don't hate the song. It's just more so the fact that I've heard it so much that I will never go out of my own way to play it, and that's Lollipop.
I'm kind of with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't hate the song. I've just heard it so much that like I'm never gonna hop in my vehicle or anywhere else and just that's not gonna be. Yeah, like I'm not gonna play that.
Actually,
like, just because I've heard it a million times.
I'm gonna give you one that people love by Wayne that I even when it dropped, I was never, and it's on the same album around the same time as Lollipop, and that's A Milli. I don't love a Millie as much as other people do, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. I can't really explain it, but people go crazy for a Millie, and it's understandable. It's a classic. I get it. The beat's hard. I just feel like it's a pretty good rapping performance by Wayne. I don't think it's like, I think we've heard much better from Wayne. I don't think it's incredible. But that's one really can't tell you any time I've gone out of my way to listen to a Millie. I've listened to Lollipop before that, and I kind of feel the same about Lollipop as well.
If you're talking Lil Wayne, She Will, I know that was a huge song. I could never hear that again. Then be fine with it. But I know it's an unpopular opinion. I'm not that. I mean, I may not be here, but 2000s Eminem, it's not for me.
Any song in particular?
Any of pick a pot, like one of his top hits. Like just
not afraid.
No, like pick anything from like 2005 to 2009 and pick a top hit.
Put a name on it. We got to hear it.
Give me just a second and I will tell you.
By the way, I see Brandon blessed the Ben Simmons highlight in the group chat, so we'll be watching that too.
Till I Collapse. That's one.
Fuck with Till I Collapse.
I could never hear it again and be perfectly fine.
50 kind of murks that.
Sorry,
I have two Drake songs whenever you're done, Keenan.
You can just keep going. Go.
Oh, I two songs that I hate, that I absolutely hate, that I will literally, if I'm in the vehicle with someone and they play either of these songs, I will set your vehicle on fire. Like, straight up. First off, if you play Hotline Bling while I'm in the vehicle with you, it's on site. Like, it's on site. I'll go Isaiah Stewart on your ass.
I love me some Hotline Bling. I love Hotline Bling. All right,
I actually kind of like this song.
No,
you don't like it either?
Plan too.
No, I like that song.
Right. Yeah, I fuck with
Kinda
Hotline
like
Bling. I can understand it though. At its time, it was played a lot, so I can understand it.
Yeah, and then God's Plan too.
Ooh,
heard enough of that too.
Damn, I like God's Plan. That's actually probably up there for Drake tracks.
If I gotta hear "I only love my bed and my mama," I'm sorry. Like, I'm swinging.
I hate that. I do hate that line.
Like, I'm grabbing you Isaiah Stewart style.
I do hate that line, especially like they even fade out the beat when he says that shit too.
Yeah.
And then in the music video, everybody's like going nuts. You're like,
the
oh
music
my!
Video is more annoying than the song.
Is that the one where he's handing out like $100 bills to homeless people?
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. 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 That's. I definitely, if we have prepared for this, I could definitely give you some more later on. But like right now, that would be.
Well, I gotta look. Yeah.
It's gonna be a reoccurring topic, so no pressure. I mean, you know.
I'll have some ready. I will have some. All Me also is another Drake song I could do without. Like, I've heard it. I just heard it so many times. It was one of our warm up songs for basketball. And, like, I don't even think it's, like, a bad song. It's just one of those songs that got played too much, and I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need Started from the Bottom ever again, even though I think the instrumental's really nice. But, like, I don't need that one ever again. But, like, it's fine. If I had to listen to it, I'm not, like, ripping my eyes out or anything, but, like, I don't have to hear that again.
I just thought of another one. Not a bad song, like, at the time, but birthday song, 2 Chainz and Kanye West.
Oh, get that away from me.
Like,
she got a big booty, so I got a big booty. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Nope, not a fan.
No, thank you.
I'm going to give y'all a throwback. That, I don't know, I go back and forth with it.
Hypnotized by Biggie.
Ooh.
See, I haven't listened.
Love that song.
I haven't listened to that song enough to not to be
when
like.
I hear it out, I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily want to hear this right now at all. I do. It's crazy because I do love the part where he's like, what does he say? He goes, Girls talk to us, want to do us, who us, screw us. Yeah, pop
Yeah.
it. Amp. Like, I love that line. I love his flow on that. If you deleted the rest of the song, I'm okay with it. And it's not even that
And
I
he
hate
also
that song.
has a little laugh at the end of that line.
I think it's a
too.
good
And
song.
He's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's a great
so-
song,
and
but
then
I think I've heard it out too much where I'm like, I never want to hear it out. Maybe in the car at random, but I don't love that song.
There's a couple songs like that we don't have. Like, I know it's not really in our rotation like that, but like "Happy" by Pharrell, I could never hear that.
I mean,
again.
that's a classic right there. That was
It is like "Forget You." I mean, CeeLo Green, I could get without that ever again in my life. Don't need that. So I'm
That's
just
a bang.
thinking of like those. Oh, Big Sean. I don't know if I don't get that out of here.
what one?
I don't with you.
Oh,
Nope.
no,
Get
that's
it out
a-
of here. Nope.
That's a banger.
Nope.
That's an all-time song.
I don't care. Get it out
I'm
of
with
here.
Keenan on
Don't
I'm
want.
with Keenan on this
man.
one.
Don't want.
I'm with Keenan.
Listen. That's off Dark Sky Paradise, I believe.
Yep.
Give me like Play No Games. I Know with Janae. Like
I
you
Don't
can give me
Fuck
other
With
songs
You.
off of that.
No,
Get
that's a
that
great
one. Listen, I had
Don't
its
Fuck With You will
moments.
turn it
It
up.
had its time.
Still
Oh.
turn it up.
Oh my god, how did I forget this? Low? Oh my god, get low all the way up. Not get low,
Flow
but
Rida and T-Pain.
yes.
Flow Rida,
Should have
T-Pain.
got the apple bottom jeans.
Yeah, that's a
Whoops, with
annoying
the
ass
fur
song
in
for
the
sure.
fur. Get it out of here. I
That is
don't
definitely
want
an
it.
annoying
I don't want to
ass
hear
song.
it. Oh my
But
goodness
low,
gracious.
low.
Yeah. Also Usher, yeah. That kid
That's
get
okay.
out of here too.
Okay.
I
That's okay,
Okay.
yeah.
That's one.
never need to
I've-
hear that.
That's in the same vein. I'd
Again.
probably put that ahead of In the Club because that's another one. I think those are 1 year apart where you could not go anywhere and not hear Usher. Yeah, I've heard it enough in my life to where I never need to hear it again. I got it. You could play,
Never
you could play that
need
music
Lil Jon
video.
on the East Side Boys.
You can play that music video on silent, and trust me, we all know the lyrics, type of thing. I agree with you there, Keenan. I never need to hear "Yeah" again, and it's a great song. It's an all-time banger, but I never need to hear it again.
Now that these are flowing, like it's they're now coming to my head. I'm like, wait a second. There's so many songs I just don't.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna cut this off because yes, we could do this for an hour. So I'm gonna cut this off.
You're right.
I think I'm gonna bring it back though next pod while you guys do have it fresh in your mind because then I think y'all will bring something back. Listen, this was a lot of fun. We got some NBA talk and we got some unexpected. I thought this was gonna be like in and out with the music topic, but we got about 10 minutes out of it. Kind of like it. This was the Warner Brothers podcast. This was Kyle and Keenan and Brandon Petty.